Okay, so students who are on the call, thank you for joining early. Right, as you can see on the screen, we want you to rename yourself. So you can actually do it yourself as well. You can click on the participants or attendees list, look for your name, and then you can click rename and put your school name followed by your full name. So some of you all are putting it in the chat box. That's also fine. We can do it for you. But if you can do it yourself, please try to do it yourself. All right. This is so that we can identify you easily and take attendance. Okay. We will start very shortly. So if you are here but your friends are not here yet, just remind them, give them a text, send them a WhatsApp, tell them to join. We will start very shortly. Okay. And if your friends are unable to join, once we reach 1,000 people on the Zoom, if your friends are unable to join, you can always go to our YouTube page, which will be showing live on this session as well. Right? So just remind your friends. All right, students who are on the Zoom, thank you for joining early. As you can see on my screen, you can rename yourself. You can check the participants list and rename yourself, put your school name followed by your full name. You can also put in the chat box, which most of y'all are doing that, so that's also fine. You can actually, we will also be recording the session, but if your friends are not on the call yet, please invite them, tell them that we will start very, very shortly. So right now it's 10 a.m. We're going to wait for a few minutes more before we actually start the webinar. All right, so if your friends are not here, invite them, tell them to come. We will start very, very shortly. Okay. Good morning, dear students. We will be starting very, very shortly. So what we're going to do, we're going to start in 5 minutes time. Okay, so if your friends are not here, please remind them, please invite them, send them a WhatsApp, give them a call, tell them to join the webinar. We'll be starting in 5 minutes time. So in the meantime, you can actually look on the screen. We want you to rename yourself. Many of you all are putting it in the chat box. You can also do it yourself. If you don't know how to rename yourself, you can put it in the chat box. But if you know, you can just look for the participants list and rename yourself. Put your school name followed by your full name. Right? For those who are watching on YouTube as well. All right. You can also put in your school name over there and your full name so we know where you're from, and we can also take attendance for you. All right. So if your friends are unable to join the Zoom because we have got a capacity of 1,000 people on the Zoom. So let's say if your friends trying to join but cannot join on the Zoom, you can always go to our YouTube page. Okay, go to our YouTube page. Just search for JA Malaysia on YouTube, and you can watch this on live, YouTube live as well. Okay, if you have any questions or anything that you need, you can always put it in the chat box, or you can put in the Q&A box as well. Okay, so we will start in about 4 minutes time, 3 to 4 minutes time. So in the meantime, rename yourself, and we will start very, very shortly. All right. So, students who are on the call, thank you very much for joining early. We have just waited for a short while so that everyone can join. We have about 1,000 people on the Zoom, and we have, I think, about almost 200 people on the YouTube. So if your friends are unable to join the Zoom because we got a capacity of 1,000 people, if they can't join the Zoom, please tell them to join on our YouTube. Okay, we will put the YouTube link in our chat box as well. So if any of your friends can't join, you can tell them to join the YouTube live. Okay, it's the same thing. It's on our YouTube, J Malaysia's YouTube page. All right, so thank you very much everyone for actually joining this Bursa Investment Challenge 2024 introductory webinar. All right, so if you are here in this Zoom or on YouTube, you have registered for the Bursa Investment Challenge. Okay, for 2024, we also ran the same program last year. Many of you all joined, and I hope you are excited to learn about investment, to learn about financial literacy, and to learn more about Bursa and how you can actually start your investment journey. So today's session is a webinar. We're going to teach you some concepts and we're also going to show you what the competition is all about. So you have to listen up very, very carefully. It'll be best if you have stable internet connection. If you can, we will be recording the session. We will also share with you after this. We will share it with your teachers as well. So if you need to rewatch the recording, you can actually you can actually get it from your teachers, and we will also email it to you. So most of our communication is via email as well, the email that you have used during registration. Okay, so remember, remind your friends to join on our YouTube page as well if they are unable to get into this Zoom. All right, now the last message before we start the webinar is, if all of y'all, if you can save this number on your handphone, if you have your own handphone, if you can save this number, it'll be good so that we can easily communicate with you. All right, 016-436-7719. That is our JA Malaysia support number. If you have any problem, any issues, any questions, you can always WhatsApp uh, or even call this number. All right, we will be doing a lot of broadcasting for this Bursa program on this WhatsApp as well. So if you have WhatsApp, just save this number on your phone and we will get in touch with you. All right, so without further ado, I would like to actually invite Mr. Shane, who is going to be our lead trainer for today. And I'll pass it over to Shane to start the webinar.
Thank you so much, Roshan, for your kind introduction. So, good morning, everybody. Good to see all of you here. Let me put up my slide. All right, I think you can see my screen right now, correct?
Yes, we can.
Yep. So, before I begin, I just want to check if I'm speaking to the right group of people. So, raise your hand if you're here because you want to learn how to make more money and to learn more about money. All right, please click raise the hand button. Okay, there's a raise the hand button, right? And let me see how many of you here are putting up your hands. Wow, there are 300, over 400 of you here are here because you want to learn about money and learn about how to make more money. Correct or not? All right, that's cool. So you may now put down your hands. All right. I see some of my juniors here. Okay, it's early morning. You see a lot of young students here. Some of you here are from my alma mater. I graduated from Zhongling High School, right? Just now I saw quite a number of you are from Zhongling High School. So yes, I have my juniors here in this session. All right, so today we are going to talk about, personal finance. We're going to talk about investing insights. Then we're going to talk about scams and how do we avoid frauds. Then we're going to talk about MyBursa. Right. So before I begin, I just allow me to briefly introduce myself. My name is Shane Chu. I'm a financial speaker, trader, and investor. I'm also the co-founder of Young Money Master, where I train a lot of young people in the area in the subject of money. So today I'm here to share with you my experience in managing money and how you too can become a financially savvy student. All right. Of course, some of the content I share here may not be immediately applicable to you where we talk about loans because you have not been able to get loan yet. But it's important for you to drill this concept into your mind first so that when you grow up, you have this awareness. Okay, what kind of loan you can take, what kind of loan you need to be aware of. All right. So I want to give a shout out to my Multiply by Cradle because this content is also curated together with Multiply by Cradle Foundation. Right. So disclaimer, whatever we share in this session is only for educational purpose, right? So there's no any recommendation for you to buy or sell any listed security should we mention here today. Okay. So this is going to be the ground that we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about personal finance. Then we'll talk about investing inside financial frauds. How do you avoid financial frauds? And then we'll talk about the tools, the wonderful tools presented by Bursa Malaysia, which is MyBursa. Then after that, Roshan and JA team will talk about Bursa Investment Challenge 2024. Right. So it's a pleasure to be here today, invited by JA Malaysia and Bursa Malaysia to be conducting this session. Now, immediately, what is personal finance and why is it important? So this is in our first module today. Now, personal finance covers all the things you need to know to manage your money. So it involves planning and budgeting, saving and investing, tackling debt, buying a vehicle, buying a home, getting an insurance, and preparing for your retirement. Okay, so this whole suite of skills you need to learn to ensure your financial security until you retire. It's very important for us to learn. Why? Because money is important. Do you agree? If you agree money is important, can you type 1 in the chat box? Okay, if you agree with me that money is important, type 1 in the chat box. All right. Wow, I see a lot of 1 here. I can tell you my personal story, right? I come from a poor background, not well-to-do background, where my parents just managed to make ends meet, right? So from young, right, since both my parents, I'm the only child because my parents couldn't afford another one. So as I grow up, I see my parents constantly argue about money. So every time they have a fight over money. So money is a root cause of the main argument between both my parents. And sometimes when there's unexpected shock that hit the family, whether it is some household items that need to be repaired, or some of my school fees, or my dad got into an accident which need to repair his motorcycle and so on, then my parents will struggle, okay, to find money just to fix that thing, okay, and it has caused a lot of financial stress, okay, and costs that induce poor sleep, mood swings, and a lot of argument that's unnecessary at home, right? So from young, I learned that money is important. Now, even though we have heard that, money can't buy happiness, but my experience tell me, right, if you got no money, confirm you got a lot of sadness. Do you agree? If you agree, you type 2, okay? Let me know. Right? If you agree with what I say, right? Money can't buy happiness. I think this partially correct. Okay, to some extent, yes, money can't buy happiness. But if you got no money, you have a lot of sadness. Trust me, a lot of troubles all stem from having a very low amount of money. Right? So that's why it's important for us to learn about personal finance. So because financial planning protects our family, protects us from unexpected financial shocks. And I'm not sure if you want a harmonious marriage because nearly half of the divorces in Malaysia are due to financial problems. Okay, half of it because financial got issues, so constantly gaduh, and then they broke up, they divorce, right? And financial health, right? Can cause you financial stress can also cause you this kind of a lot of health issues, right? So I've seen it through my own eyes. That's why when I was very little, I have vowed that when I grow up, I want to start my own business. I want to become financially successful. All right. So now let's talk about planning a budget. Why planning as a budget is important, right? Because if you do proper budgeting, we can get the most out of your money. We don't simply waste our money, and we can get the most out of money. And it can help us free up some of our money, and can help keep our debt under control. So if we do proper budgeting, then there will be a very little wastage. We can maximize our resources. So in planning a budget, it is very important for you to know yourself. That's step one. You must know yourself. What kind, or who are you as a person? What kind of lifestyle are you living right now? And what is your desire lifestyle that you want to live in the future, right? So you must understand yourself. What are you spending at the moment? Okay, so you understand what is your lifestyle right now, and then what kind of lifestyle you want to live. So you know how to take you from where you are at the moment to where you want to be in the future. So step two, okay, is to understand and set your priorities. Okay, you must know in the lifestyle that you're living right now, what are actually needs and what are actually wants. Okay, needs are the things that you require to get you through your day. Wants are the thing you desire, okay, to meet your heart's content, right? So it may not be necessary, but it's good to have them, because so you can have convenience, so you can have pleasure, right? So these are your wants. So it's important for you to differentiate between need and want, because sometimes you may end up having a lot of wants, okay? And you could overspend on your wants, right? So as a young adult, it is important for us to have delayed gratification so that it can help us to reach our financial goal more rapidly, right? So that's very important for you to understand your priorities, okay? And step three is where you plan your budget, right? In this case, you can, there are a lot of budget calculator, and one of them you can check out is multiply budget calculator. We can use it to help you to plan your calculator, so you know whether by the end of the month or by the end of the day, will you have surplus or not, right? So it's very important. Now, setting your priorities, right? Now, so we must know what the difference between needs and wants, right? So having a regular phone is a need, right? But having the latest flagship smartphone, right? 5G, AI, right? Is actually a want. Do you agree? All right. So these are the difference between, a need and a want. Okay. As your age, I think that having a regular phone would be enough. Right, having the latest flagship product, right? iPhone 15 Pro Max is just a one, that you could, keep your delay gratification in check, so you don't overspend for your one. Okay. Now in the chat box, right, maybe you can tell me, can you give me any more example of a need? You type some example for the needs for me. Okay. Can let me know what would be a need, right? I see a lot of food, a lot of house, a lot of water, a lot of clothes, right? Books, yes, I love people who say books is need. Okay, yeah, because it fill our mind, right, with education. So these are needs. Did I see cat? Or I see a car, right? Just not sure whether it's a typo. I thought I saw a cat just now. Right. Dog, is dog a need? Okay, I think dog. I think I saw snake just now. Cockroach, okay, you all don't try to be very funny, okay? Cockroach is definitely I don't think you want to raise cockroach, okay, anyway. Okay, right. So now can you tell me what are, okay, let's stop here for now first. Let's stop here for now. Okay, don't have to type anymore. Okay. Okay, tell me what are wants, right? Tell me, type in the chat box, right? What do you think are wants? Okay, I see a virtual reality set. Okay, these are wants. Microsoft are wants. Okay. I would think Microsoft Office are needs, right? And some of the Microsoft other products could be a one. Okay. Okay, like Surface, the latest Surface Pro, right? Could be a one, right? Luxury PS4. Right. Nintendo Switch. All right. Thank you so much for all your answer, right? Well, big house is a one. Okay. All right. Yes. Thank you so much for your answer. All right. So I think you all are smart enough to understand differentiate between needs and wants. And sometimes knowing is not enough. You must really implement it. Okay. So if you don't have a lot of resources in the beginning with, it is important for you just to prioritize your needs first. Okay. Later I will share with you a rule of thumb on how you can go about getting your wants. Because so from time to time you need to pamper yourself a little bit. So I will share with you some of the budgeting trick how to pamper to your needs, right? So step 3, okay, step 1 is knowing yourself. Step 2 is set your priorities, and step 3 in budgeting is where you want to plan your budget. Okay, so in planning your budget, it's important for us to aim to achieve the following things first. Number 1, pay off your credit card debt first, because credit card debt charges the highest interest rate among all the banking facility, right? So aim to pay off your credit card debt first. Number 2, you can set aside some budget if you have any balances, okay, to settle other loans if you have, right? You can pay up your mortgage loan for the house that you live in and so on. You aim to save at least 6 months of salary for emergencies. Now, I'm sure that many of you, all of you here, have not started a full-time job. Sometimes you may work part-time job, like me, right? When I was standard 6, right, I started working part-time job already. Okay, so when I make money, right, through all the part-time job during school break, right, I will save my money. Okay, so it's important for you to save at least 6 months of salary for emergencies. Okay, 6 months of salary for emergencies. So I personally, for me, right, I have at least 6 months of salary in my emergency, okay, in my savings account, or sometimes I put it in my money market funds. Anything excess of that, I put it into Bursa Malaysia market. I invest in the stock market. Okay, so that's what I do. So, but must have at least 6 months of salaries. When you started working, this is a rule of thumb. Number 4, you can save as much as possible for retirement, because according to the statistic by EPF, a lot of people upon their retirement have very low amount of cash, which is less than 200,000. Okay, it is very hard for you to get by if inflation is very high. So by the time you turn retirement, I think 200,000 may not be enough to last you 5 years. Okay, so it's important for you to save as much as possible. You can do voluntary contribution to EPF. Okay, so that's where you can look into that. So you must prepare. The idea that you need to get today is you must prepare for retirement. Okay, the means is not important for you at your stage right now, but you must understand that, a lot of time, we are very myopic. We only think about what will happen in the next 1 or 2 weeks. We may not think about what will happen in the next 2 to 3 decades after you retire. Number 5, for once, right? We only allocate at most 10% of your salary. Okay, so if let's say 1 month, when you start your full-time job, you make 3,000 ringgit a month, right? At most, you spend 300 ringgit, okay, for your wants. Okay, so if you want to buy a latest smartphone, right, flagship smartphone, then every month you save 10%, and when you have reached maybe 15 months or so, you have accumulated 4,500, then only you splurge on your wants, right? Buy the smartphone that you really want, whether it is Samsung S24 Ultra, or iPhone 15, right? So allocate 10% at most only, okay? The rest should be taken care of by your needs and by your savings. Now, if you have dependents, okay, it's very important for you to have life insurance. Now, at your stage right now, you don't have dependents, I believe, okay? You may have so you may have dependents when you reach 25 years old and above, when you got married and have kids, right? So at your stage, you may not have dependent, but you are the dependent of somebody else, right? So it's important for you to tell your parents, do you have life insurance or not? Why? Because if you don't have if you have dependent, right? Let's say for me, I have a kid, right? So if I suddenly pass away, right, and I'm a main breadwinner for the family, so if I suddenly die, right? I suddenly die, who is going to look after my family financially? So if I don't have insurance, then it's very hard, okay? Because I'm the main breadwinner for the family, right? So you got to think about it, okay? So if you don't have dependents, okay, when you pass away, right, then you don't have worries, lah. But if you have dependents, when you pass away, right, your worry is that who will look after them financially, right? Where do they get money to get by each day, right? So that's why it's important for you to have life insurance, because life insurance gives you a lump sum payout upon death, or total permanent disability. Okay, so when you pass away, the life insurance will provide you a sum of money, depending on how much is your sum assured. Let's say 500,000 to 1 million to 3 million ringgit, so that your dependents can take this money to pay for their school fee, to buy food, okay, or to get through to college and university. So that's why it's important for us to have life insurance if you have dependents. Okay. Now, you can try out this multiply budget calculator. You just go to their website, multiply.org.my, to try out their monthly budget calculator for you to learn to do budgeting. Okay. Now that we have learned briefly about budgeting, so what is next? So we're going to talk about how to manage your debt, right? Managing your debt. Now, sometimes in life, the things that we want to buy is beyond our affordability at the moment. For instance, if you want to buy a house at the age of 25, you may not be able to have saved up, 500,000, okay, or 300,000 to afford a house yet. So as you start to work, you may need to get into debt, right? That means you need to get banking facilities. Okay. Many of us here, when we graduated from university, we already have debt, right? But that education fee debt, right? So PTPTN. For me, I also took PTPTN when I studied in local university. But of course, I worked very hard. I studied very hard. I graduated first class in my university. So I turned my PTPTN to become a scholarship, so I don't have to repay, right? So, but if you have to repay, then you already got that, right, when you graduated. So, if you can't afford something, maybe we have to consider to take on some debt to help us to afford things, right? For instance, when you want to buy a car, when you want to buy a house, and when you have emergency where you need to take on personal loan and other forms of loans. So these are all debt, right? So these are all different forms of debts, including credit card loan, right? So the guideline that you must remember today is that your total debt should not be more than 40% of your income. All right? Cannot be more than 40% of your income. Okay? Let's say you make 10,000 ringgit a month. Let's say I make 10,000 ringgit a month. The monthly repayment to your debt installment should not be more than how much? Type in the chat box, let me know. How much? Should not be more than how much? Should be less than how much? 4K, right? Yeah, correct. Cannot be more than 4K. Okay. Because if it's more than 4K, then you are going to have a lot of trouble because your debt has taken up a huge chunk of your salary already. Okay. So that is a guideline you must remember. Cannot be more than 40%. So it should be less than 40%. Right. Now, a lot of time, right, it's not about how much money you make, wrong. Okay. It's how much money you can save that makes a difference. Right. A lot of time I've seen people who make 3,000 a month and they are broke. I've seen people who have make 10,000 ringgit a month and they're even more broke than the 3,000 ringgit a month. Okay, why? Because the one who make 10,000 ringgit a month spend 15,000 ringgit a month. The one who make 3,000 ringgit a month spend 2,800 ringgit a month. Right? So the one who earns 3,000 ringgit a month still have 200 ringgit surplus. The one who earn 10,000 ringgit a month have 5,000 ringgit deficit by the end of the month, right? So sometimes it's not how much money you earn, it's how much money you have balance, you have surplus at the end of the day that makes a difference. So it's important for you to manage that surplus, right? Because the people who are rich take the surplus every month to buy asset. And the person who are broke usually have no surplus. If they have surplus, they will take this surplus to buy liabilities. Okay, so these are the differences between rich people and poor people. So in order for you to be rich, you must make the best use, the optimized use of your surplus. Okay, that's why we need to learn personal finance. right? If you always take your surplus to buy liabilities so that you can impress the people you don't have to impress, then you're going to be broke for the rest of your life, right? So it's very important for us to remember, okay? So must make our debt less than 40% of your income. So that's the idea, okay? So 5 things to keep in mind when dealing with a loan, right? Number 1, the total loan repayment should be less than 40% of your income. How many percent? 40, yeah? Then the next thing we must know, ask yourself, is that, is the loan that I take charge me flat interest rate or reducing balance interest rate? Okay, we'll talk about that in a short while. Okay, then we're going to check if it is interest rate, right? We must compare what is the effective interest rate for your loan, right? And number 4, every time you take on a banking facility, you must ask for product disclosure sheet. Okay, a lot of time, right? We take the product disclosure sheet, we never read, right? It's like when you agree with terms and conditions, right? You just click agree, right? You never read the whole thing, right? But when you take out a loan, it's important for you to ask for product disclosure sheet. Okay, so you understand what is entailed. Number 5, timely repayments help maintain a good credit score. Now, it is important for us to be trustworthy to the banks, because sometimes when you need to get through troubles, you will need banks to help you, right? You don't know when you're going to hit a brick in life, right? So when you happen to bump into that kind of unwanted situation, if you have a good credit score, then it's easier for you to get a personal loan to help you through the difficult time, right? So if every time when you take out a loan, right, you never repay your installment or your monthly commitment on time, you either miss the repayment or you're late, then your credit score will be very bad. So Bank Negara has a system called securities to keep tracks of a person's credit score. So if every time you miss the deadline to repay your bill or repay your financial loan commitment, then your credit score will be very ugly. Okay, when your credit score is bad, then no banks will dare to lend you money. Because why? You're not credit worthy. If you're not credit worthy, nobody dare to lend you money, right? But if you maintain a good reputation, every time you borrow money, you repay it on time, then a lot of banks would like to keep you as a customer. So that's why timely repayments is very important. Okay. Now, let's talk about effective interest rate and flat interest rate and reducing balance interest rate. So to do that, let me just play a short video. Okay. I would use this video to help me to share about this concept of flat interest rate and reducing interest rate and what is effective interest rate. Okay.
Trying to decide between using a credit card or getting a personal loan? Which gives you the better interest rate? Well, actually, different types of loans have different types of interest rates. There are 2 types of interest rates out there, a flat interest rate and a reducing balance interest rate. But a flat interest rate of 2% isn't the same as a reducing balance rate of 2%. So wait, how does this work? Well, personal loans and car loans use flat interest rates. A flat interest rate is calculated from the original amount you borrow. So even as you pay off your loan, the interest you pay stays the same each year. For these loans, go for a shorter tenure to save on interest payments. Home loans and credit cards, on the other hand, use reducing balance interest rates. Here, the interest is calculated from your leftover loan balance. So as you pay off your loan, the interest you pay gets smaller and smaller. If you can't afford it, pay off more of your loan to save on interest payments, especially for credit cards as they have really high interest rates. So if flat and reducing balance interest rates are calculated differently, how do we compare them? Well, by looking at the effective interest rate, or EIR. The EIR is the real interest rate of a loan and is basically the same as a reducing balance interest rate. As a rough guide, take your flat rate and multiply it by 2 to get your EIR. So a flat interest rate of 3% would have an EIR of about 6%. You can find the EIR on the bank website or in the product disclosure sheet. But if you still can't find it, call your loan provider and ask for it. So how do you decide between using your credit card or getting a personal loan? Simple, always compare the EIR. For example, if the personal loan interest is 14% per year, This means the EIR is about 28%. Say the credit card, on the other hand, has an EIR of 18%. You'll know that this is the better option since it has the lower EIR. No matter which loan you pick, always make your repayments on time to avoid extra fees and penalties. For a more accurate EIR conversion, check out our EIR calculator on www.multiply.org.my. Multiply is a non-profit initiative by Creador Foundation.
All right, so you have just watched the video of effective interest rate. So let me sum up the main point here. All right, so I believe you're seeing my screen right now. So for flat interest rate, there are two types of loan that use flat interest rate. What are these two types of loan? The first type is personal loan. The second type is the vehicle loan. Vehicle loan, also known as hire purchase. Hire purchase. So these two banking facility charge flat interest rate. Okay, in other words, the interest rate is calculated based on the initial sum, and it remains the same across the tenure. So for these two types of interest rate, you must know the effective interest rate is actually higher than the initially advertised interest rate. For instance, if personal loans advertised is 18% a year, then the effective interest rate would amount to around 36.62% a year. So it's actually much higher than you think. So if vehicle loan, right, hire purchase loan, advertised is 2.5%, the effective interest rate is actually 4.82%. All right. So as a rule of thumb, involve a very complicated calculation. So as a rule of thumb, for simplicity, you just times 2 lah. Whatever you see in your hire purchase loan and whatever interest rate you see in your personal loan, you times 2. When you times 2, the number is more or less there. Okay, that is your effective interest rate. For reducing balance interest rate, so the interest rate is charged at the reducing balance rate. So whatever principal outstanding, so that is the interest rate got charged. So these are the two banking facilities used reducing balance interest rates, and they are respectively housing loans and credit card debt, right? So the more you pay towards this housing loan and your credit card debt, the more you can save in interest. Okay, so for effective interest rate, right, the whatever advertised is exactly the same, right? So in other words, the rate that they give you in the housing loan and in your credit card loan, these are the effective interest rate. So they are the same. Okay, only for flat interest rate, they are different. They are higher than what is advertised. So that's why you need to understand the differences between these two interest rates. Okay, so let's go into each loan one by one. Personal loan, right, is the number one reason for bankruptcy in Malaysia. Now, personally, I have not taken personal loan, but I have my friends who have taken on personal loans, right? So usually, if you take on excessive personal loan that you cannot be able to repay, then you may seek help with AKPK, which is an agency counseling and debt management agency with the government. Okay, they work very closely with Bank Negara. Okay, so you may need to seek this kind of help to restructure your debt. Right now, if you really are on the brink of bankruptcy, it is very important for the seek help. Okay, I've seen one of my friends here who seek help with AKPK, and he managed to turn things around. Okay, he managed to reduce the interest rate and consolidate and just pay to AKPK every month, right? So very important. So now, what are personal loan, right? Three things to know when you check personal loan, right? Personal loans are the loans that can help you through some emergency. You only take personal loan if you want to get through some hardship in life. For instance, you have some accident and you need to do some surgery and you got no medical insurance, and you can take on personal loan to help you through this thing, right? So these are the emergency in life where you can take on personal loan. So you only take personal loan from reputable sources. Yeah, you don't take personal loan from unlicensed sources. If you take personal loan from unlicensed sources, chances are there could be loan sharks. And when you take on a shark, you will lose your limbs. So it's very important for you not to borrow money from unlicensed person. Okay, only take loans from reputable sources, because those loan shark, right, their interest rate is incredibly high, and it is charged on monthly basis, and you will really struggle. Okay, you probably have to sell your organs before you can repay your loan. So that's why it's important for us to take personal loan only from reputable sources. Okay, now, so when you want to, if you really need to take on the personal loan, you must check the interest rate before you take on. So it's not a binary decision, whether yes or no, right? When you take on loans, right, it should be a multiple choices decisions. You have to compare loan 1, what is the interest rate they charge? Loan 2, what is the interest rate they charge? Loan 3, what is the interest rate charge, right? So when you want to make big decisions in life, it's important for you to have a lot of choices so you can do comparison. You don't just do binary decisions whereby yes or no. Okay, these are binary decisions. It's poor decisions. So you must do multiple choice decisions. Always check the rates before you take on and choose the one with the best package. Number 2, you must know what is the flat interest rate charge, and you must times 2. Okay, remember, times 2. All right. You don't take personal loan to invest or pay off the debt. Sometimes you take personal loan, to buy shares, right? That's not recommended. Okay. If you want to buy share, there are other means of financing you can take. For instance, share margin financing you can take, right? Don't take personal loan to invest, okay, or to pay off your debt, right? So personal loans can only be taken for emergency, okay? Not for you to impress your girlfriend, your boyfriend, okay? Not for this, okay? Don't take on a personal loan, okay, to pay for down payment for a flashy car, right? Don't do that. Now, I want to share with you an example, right? So these are 2 personal loans that you can consider. Loan A, they give you 40,500 ringgit and they charge you 2.5% per annum. And the tenure is 5 years, 5 tahun. Okay. Loan B, they also offer what you need, which is 40,500 ringgit. They charge you the same exact interest rate, flat rate, 2.5%. But the repayment is 9 years. Okay. It's a much longer tenure. So in short, right, when you calculate the monthly repayment for loan A, it's 759 ringgit per month. And the monthly repayment for loan B is 459 ringgit per month. So tell me, which loan is cheaper to take? Is it A or B? Type A or B in the chat box. Okay, let me know. A or B? Okay, I see majority of you type A, minority of you type B, right? Now, let's take a look. So if you take an absolute amount per month, loan B only require you to pay 459 ringgit per month, which is much lower, because loan A, you have to pay 759 ringgit per month, right? So loan B is 300 ringgit cheaper per month. Loan A is 300 ringgit more expensive per month. But if you compare the whole tenure, right? Absolute amount, loan B is lower. But you compare the whole tenure, right? Loan B, you're going to pay for 9 years, 9 years times 12 months is 108 months. Loan A, you only need to pay for 5 years, which is 60 months. Okay, you only need to pay for 60 months. So if you take 60 months times the monthly repayment, you compare with 459 ringgit times 108 months, right? You will notice loan A is cheaper options to take. It's cheaper to take. Why? Because it's shorter. You don't have to pay so much for the interest rate. Okay, you don't have to pay so much for the interest. So it's very important for you to not just compare the interest alone, but also compare the tenure. From what we have learned from the video just now, for flat interest rate, the shorter the tenure, the better. The longer the tenure means you're going to pay more for the interest, which is not worth lah. If you really have to take on a loan, right, that is so long, then you really need to think about that, okay, what have gone wrong in your life financially that caused you in that kind of situation. Okay, so we are talking about personal loan, right? To sum up, personal loan is only for emergencies. Always pick the one with the best package, lowest rate, okay? So a shorter tenure is the best. The second loan I want to talk about is hire purchase, right? Now, at this stage in your life, you may not need to buy yourself a car yet. I bought my first car when I was 23 or 24 years old, okay? The first car I bought was a second-hand car. It's a used car because I don't have a lot of money. So I buy a used car, which cost me only 9,800 ringgit, if I'm not mistaken. That can get me around in town, get me to work, get me to travel, okay, across Malaysia. It's just functional, okay? I don't buy my first car to impress people, okay? So why is it important for you to learn about hire purchase? Because if you don't manage hire purchase well, you can also get into bankruptcy, because hire purchase loan is a number 2 reason for people to go into bankruptcy. All right. So you must manage it well. So 3 things to know when it comes to hire purchase, which means buying vehicle, right? Hire purchase means it's a vehicle loan. The longer the loan, the more interest you have to pay. So this is exactly the same like personal loan, right? If you take on a 9-year loan to buy a car, compared with if you take on a 5-year loan to buy a car, the one with a 9-year loan, you're going to pay more interest. Okay. Number 2, you choose according to your budget, right? You choose a car for which the repayments you can afford, right? You don't choose a car whereby the repayments is already occupied more than 40% of your income. For instance, your first job is say is an accountant, you make 3,000 ringgit a month. Okay, let's say, but you bought Honda Civic. Okay, you bought a Honda Civic and you take on a 9-year loan, so your monthly repayment is 1,400 ringgit. You take 1,400 ringgit divided by 3,000 ringgit income, right? That is more than 40%, isn't it? So the car alone already take out 40% of your salary already. So you got not enough to make ends meet already. So it's very important. Okay, don't choose a car that you cannot afford and that's flashy, that makes you look cool, what good it does to you if you look cool, but then you have to live a miserable life, right? Don't do that. Okay, so flat interest rate, I must know when you take on hire purchase loan to buy a car, it's a flat interest rate. So the shorter the tenure, the better. If you have to take on a vehicle that costs you 9-year tenure, then you stretch it to 9-year tenure so that it can become affordable to you, then you might need to reconsider. I think a better way to take on a vehicle is to take on a 5-year loan instead of 9-year, in my opinion. Okay. Okay, I've briefly talked about hire purchase loan, right? Buying a car. So you learn this first in advance, right? Some of you are Form 5, Form 4, Form 3, right? You learn it in advance so that when you buy a car, you know that, you must don't make this repayment more than 40% of your income. Okay. So now the question I want to ask you is, can you save interest by increasing your monthly repayment towards your housing loan? Just now the video talked about that. Do you think yes or no? You type yes or no in the chat box and let me know. Can you save interest if you pay more to your housing loan, right? If you think can save, you type yes. Okay. If you think cannot save, you type no. Okay. Well, I've seen a lot of yes, right? The answer is correct. You pay attention in the video just now, right? Yes, you can save on interest by paying repayment. Okay, good job, right? So you need to pay attention in this talk. No, why? Because a lot of questions from the competition, right, is taken from the materials that I present today, right? So now housing loan is a third loan that we're going to talk about. Okay, now of course you have not now you're too young to buy a house yet, but you must learn this concept first. Okay, like with all big things in life, we cannot make binary decisions. Okay, you must have multiple choices. So when you take on a housing loan, you must go for different banks, right? For me, I easily go for 3 banks. Okay, for every loan that I take, every mortgage I take, I go for 3 banks to compare the rate, right? So because it's a big thing, some housing loan you got to take on for 35 years, right? So you're going to spend the rest of your life working for that loan. So you must make sure you get the best deal. Okay, always go for the best deal, right? So compare a few loans to buy a house, right? Because a house costs you a lot of money. Okay, nowadays a condo in KL PJ, right? Or Penang, right? Easily 500,000, right? If you want to go less than 500,000, it could be affordable home, right? 300K, 800 square feet, like that. So if a condominium easily costs 500,000 in this area, okay? KL, PJ, I think Johor also by and large the same figure. Okay, so it's a big amount, so we must always compare different loan. Okay, so number two, remember, if you have excess cash, right, you can opt for repayment, because if you pay more towards your loan, you can save on interest lah. Okay, especially if this is your homestay. Okay, it is important for you to understand a homestay, right? The quicker you pay off your debt, right, your mortgage, the better it is. For investment properties, you can still, you know, my preference, right? Investment properties, I want to maximize like my loan. Okay, so that I can gain from capital gain. I can pay very little interest, so that I can pay lower in terms of installment, and I try to have a surplus lah. For most of my properties, I have surplus. Okay, so but for homestay, okay, it's better that you pay off your debt. The earlier you pay off your mortgage, the better it is. Okay. Third, reducing balance interest rate. Okay, you must know for the housing loan that you take, right, it's reducing balance interest charge on the remaining balance of a loan. So the earlier you pay off your loan, the more interest you can save, right? So I briefly talked about housing loan already. So next thing is, I want to ask you is, if you want to buy a brand new computer, should you save up for it, or should you just use your credit card? Okay, I want to go to credit card already. Okay. A lot of you say save up, right? Yeah, that is a wise answer. Save up, right? Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's a good answer. Save up. Okay, but if you know how to use credit card, you can also use credit card to pay, right? So long that you can afford to repay your credit card within the next 30 days, you can use credit card to buy a computer. So that's the answer. If you cannot repay your whole credit card debt, right, within the next 30 days, you should not use credit card to buy a computer. You should save up for it. Okay. So what is credit card? Credit card means a facility that banks extend to you that can help you to buy things first, pay later. But if you miss the deadline, they're gonna charge you finance fee, finance charge, which is interest rate, right? So a lot of times the credit card companies, they tell you very low, only 1.5% a month, right? But actually 1.5% a month is actually 18% per annum. It's, you don't be fooled by 1.5% a month. The amount looks small, right? But if you really, annualize it, it becomes 18%, which is very high interest rate, right? So credit card, among all the banking facility, charge the highest interest rate. So that's why the first thing you have, when you have cash, right, the first thing you should settle is always settle credit card first, because they always charge the highest interest rate. And because credit card, the nature is a reducing balance. The more you pay, right, the lower the interest rate charge. So that makes sense for you to pay off that first. Okay. Now, a lot of people who take on credit card debt, right, they always pay the minimum balance. But let's say they have spent 10,000 ringgit in this credit card bill. Every time the minimum balance, they pay 500. Let's say they pay 500. Every month, they just pay 500 minimum. The interest charge is on 9,500 ringgit that is unpaid, And the longer it takes, right, the longer it will take to clear off your entire credit card debt, right? So your interest you pay will be snowballing. So this is compounding debt. So that's why it is very important for us to manage our credit card debt better. Okay, a lot of people, they take on first credit card, they max out their credit card already. Or the credit limit is, let's say 10,000, 10,000. They swipe, they max out 10,000. They cannot repay. What do? They go to the second bank to apply for the credit card, and they transfer balance. Okay, so they use the second credit card, okay, to cover the first credit card, right? And this kind of thing. Okay, they roll over the kind of debt, right? So this is a bit stupid, It doesn't solve the root cause of the problem, and your debt will still keep snowballing. Okay, so it is very important for you not to overspend, because if you can't control your desire, if you always spend on your wants, then every time when you have credit card, right, always max out. So It's very important for you to manage your debt. Okay, so let me sum up. 5 things you must keep in mind when you deal with loan. Number 1, your repayment should be less than 40% of your income. Number 2, you must check whether is it interest rate, flat interest rate, or reducing balance interest rate, right? The one that charge flat interest rate are personal loan and hire purchase, and the one that charge reducing balance interest rate are the mortgage, which is the housing loan, and the credit card, right? Number 3, if you are taking a flat interest rate, you must check the effective interest rate. Usually it's times 2 lah. If you are taking a housing loan and the credit card, then the interest rate they tell you is the effective interest rate. Okay. Every time you take loan, you must check and read the product disclosure sheet, and you must repay it on time so you can maintain a good credit score, so you are credit worthy to the banks. All right. So this is all about personal finance. Okay. So we want to move on to investing insights. Okay. Now, a lot of times when it comes to investing, right? So just now we talk about personal finance, right? Okay, let me backtrack a bit. Just now we talk about personal finance. If you cannot manage your personal finance well, you can't even have surplus to invest. You understand? So the first thing to do before you start investing is to manage your money well. You have good and sound money management system. You know your personal finance. You know when to buy insurance and stuff like that. You get everything of your personal finance taken care of. First, you have saved up 6 months of emergencies. Then you can talk about investing, right? So when it comes to investing, right, a lot of time people have no idea how to invest, right? So that's why they always fall prey of this kind of investment scheme that turned out to be a fraud. Okay, they have very little information. They don't know what stocks to buy. They don't know how to get dividends, stuff like that, and they don't know where to get information, right? Should I get from my friends? Should I get from where can I get reliable sources? And can I trust the gurus? Okay, so these are all these kind of concerns or questions that people have. So that's why we want to attempt to address this today, right? So before we talk about that, let's compare between saving and investing. What are the differences? Okay, saving means you set aside money for future purchase. You're able to quickly access the money very fast with little or no risk. So it's in your savings account, in your current account, or it could be in your fixed deposit or money market fund. So these are more like a savings. Investing means that you are able to make money. Okay, you buy into stocks, you buy into bonds, you buy into properties or real estate, right? And then you want to achieve your long-term goal, right? Your long-term goal, there are many different long-term goals that we're going to talk about later. So saving is to help you through your daily necessity, right? You save for emergency, okay? Anything excess, you should let it grow, right? You should compound your money, let it grow, right? Through investment. So if you just put your money in a savings account, it pays you a very low interest rate. 2% means you put into a fixed deposit already. So let's say you put into fixed deposit, right? You put 200 ringgit in 10 years, your 200 ringgit will grow to 243 ringgit at 80 cents. So this is 2% annual interest rate will help compound your 200 principal to become 243 ringgit 80 cents 10 years later. But if you invest in REIT, right? We just talked about the dividend yield alone. Okay, REIT actually stands for Real Estate Investment Trust, right? So if you buy into real estate investment trust that are listed on Bursa Malaysia, that pays you 6% dividend yield, 6% dividend yield, your 200 ringgit invested will pay you 358 ringgit, and you will compound to 358 ringgit at 17 cents 10 years later. Okay, now for me, I have a lot of money in REIT that helped me to generate interest. Okay, I have very little money in saving. I only have 6 months of emergency cash in savings. Okay, so these are my strategy. Okay, I have 6 months of emergency. The rest I put in Bursa Malaysia market. So that's what I do. Okay, I put in REITs. Okay, to give me stability, I put in growth stocks. I put in cyclical stocks. I invest across stocks in Bursa Malaysia. Okay, that can help me to achieve my long-term goal. Okay, saving is just to protect you. Saving is just to protect you from being poor. If you want to be rich, you must do investment. You understand? If you want to be rich, you only do saving, you can hardly go there. Okay, understand? So saving is to save us from being poor. But if you want to be rich, right? You want to do investment. Okay. Now, how many of you here want to be rich? If you want to be rich, right, type me, let me know in the comment, right? Type ME, let me know. So if you're on YouTube, right, you type in the YouTube chat box, okay? Let me know, type me, right? If you want to be rich, right? Okay, yeah. Thank you for your affirmation, right? If you want to be rich, then you must learn to do investment, all right? Now, of course, you may think that I'm a bit too young to learn investment, right? But trust me, the earlier you learn, the bigger head start you have. I learned about investing when I was Form 5. I pick up books from Popular to read about investing because why? I see that my family is very poor. So at Form 5 after SPM, right, I decided that I want to make more money because I work multiple part-time jobs. Every time during school break, right, I do part-time job, right? Every time during school break, my friends are following the family to go overseas already. They go to London, go to Japan, China to travel. I'm one of a few kids in class that have to work during school break, right? Short semester break, I go to work. Okay, become waiter, telemarketer, surveyor. I have done a lot of things, okay, to make income. Okay, so by the time I reach Form 5, right, I save up some money, so I have learned investment already. Okay, the earlier you learn, right, the bigger head start you have among your peers. That means you start early, you know. Okay, it's important for you to start early because the younger you start investing, the more money you can compound. Okay, the later you start investing, the compounding effect doesn't work in your favor, if you start compared to if you start early. So why do we invest? There are a number of reasons why we invest. Number one, increase our current income, right? And many of you here think 3,000 ringgit as a fresh grad salary are not enough. I want to increase our current income. Then learn to invest. Okay. Number two, achieve your financial goals, right? When you want to buy a big car, big house, right? You can do investment to help you to buy your house, right? For instance, the house that I bought recently, I sold my glove stocks to help afford a lot of down payment, right? Achieve financial goals. Number three, standard of living. Okay, improve our standard of living, raise our standard of living so we can live comfortably in our life, right? Number four, prepare for retirement. Okay, I have my retirement education fund, right? I have retirement education fund that I have put on for myself and also education fund for my kids, right? I also use stock market to help you to grow my fund, right? So I want to send my daughter to US, so I buy Bursa listed, okay, US stocks, right? Okay, there are a lot of Bursa, you can also get access to US stocks, right? So you can do that. For retirement, I want to retire in Malaysia, so I buy ringgit denominated kind of investment, right? So you can use investment to help you to achieve your retirement plan. Okay. Now, why is investing important? Because inflation erodes the value of money as years goes by, right? So I'm sure you have felt inflation, correct or not? Has your food become more and more expensive as you grow up? Yes or no? If yes, you type yes in the chat box and let me know. Have you realized that food cost has become more and more expensive? Okay, type yes, Okay, let me see. Is it disabled? Chat disabled? Oh, yes, okay. Right, type yes, right? No, back then when I eat roti canai, it only cost me 10 cents. Now gotten so expensive already, right? Especially in the economy right now. Why? Because when every time when the country go into economic recession, the central banks are printing a lot of money to spur the economy, right? Okay, to make it hot by printing a lot of money. By doing so, it erodes the value of money even faster. So especially in this century right now, you cannot afford not to invest your money, okay? Because your money got eroded much faster than you imagine, okay? So investing, you can combat inflation, and investing can help you make your money work for you because of compounding, right? Warren Buffett said this, if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you have to work for the rest of your life, right? For me, I have learned how to make money work hard for me even while I sleep, right? When I sleep, right, my portfolio in US market also giving me, dividend and giving me value appreciation, okay? So that's what happened. Okay. Now, diversification via different asset classes is very important because we don't just want to put all eggs into one basket. Because if you put all eggs into one basket, let's say you put every of your most or all of your money into just one stock. Okay. Let's say the stock, let's say you put it into Maxis, okay, it goes down, then your retirement plan, your education fund, right, all already. Okay, so that's why we must build a diversified portfolio that consists of not just one asset class, but multiple asset class across different geographic region, right? So we have a foreign market, we have fixed income, we have unit trust, we have gold, we have currency, we have real estate shares, right? So these are diversification across multiple asset class. Now, the good thing with Bursa Malaysia is that you can access a lot of these asset class just on Bursa Malaysia. You can through Bursa Malaysia to buy unit trust. You can through Bursa Malaysia to buy shares. Okay, you can through Bursa Malaysia to have exposure to the foreign market. Okay, you can through Bursa Malaysia to buy gold. They have digital gold, right? You can through Bursa Malaysia to buy real estate through real estate investment trust, right? So you can use Bursa Malaysia to get exposure to different asset class. Okay, you can even use Bursa Malaysia to buy bonds, right? They're exchange traded bonds and sukuk that are listed on Bursa Malaysia. Okay, question to ask before you make an investment. Number one, what kind of return can I expect? When you want to invest in something, you must know what kind of return can I expect. Is it slow return or a big return? Okay, of course, big return will come with bigger risk lah. Okay, the second question is, what kind of risk involved? Will I have the possibility to lose my entire capital? These are questions to ask. Is it high risk, low risk kind of investment? Typically, low risk investment will yield a low return. All right. High risk investment will likely to yield you a high return. How quickly can I get my money back if I need it? Right. This is a third question you must ask. Okay. How quickly can I get my money back? Okay. Sometimes the money invest, right? You cannot redeem it within the next 1 year or so. If you buy into other asset class. So for stocks, right, it's very liquid. You can get back money fast, right? If you invest in properties, then maybe it will take a longer period before you can sell and get back your principal. All right. How can I reduce my risk? So these are questions that you can ask before you make any investment decision. Right? So let's talk about what is investment first. Okay. How many of you here know who this gentleman is? If you know, wow, you are very smart already. Okay. So this gentleman is famous for three things. Number one, he's famous for being the teacher of Warren Buffett. Okay. Number two, he's famous for being the founding father of value investing. Number three, he's famous for being the co-author of this book called Securities Analysis, right? So he's none other than this gentleman called Benjamin Graham. Okay, Benjamin Graham, right? And in his book Securities Analysis, he said that he defined this investment in this way. He says that an investment operation is one which, upon thorough analysis, promises safety of principal and an adequate return. Operation not meeting these requirements are speculative. So there are three keywords here. How many keywords? Three. First keyword is thorough analysis. Okay, everybody type thorough analysis in the chat box and let me know. Thorough analysis. Okay. In other words, right? Are you typing thorough analysis? Yes, correct. Keep the thorough analysis coming, right? In other words, right? When you do an investment, not only are you expected to do an analysis, you're expected to do it in depth, do it thoroughly, to understand holistically, okay, what could impact the investment positively or how could it impact it adversely. You must know, you must understand the things, right? A lot of times people do investment, they do not understand what kind of things they invest in, what kind of asset they invest in, what does it entail, right? They don't know. Okay, they only know, oh, this one of 7214, right? I buy. Why you buy? Because people say confirm go up. That's why I buy, ma. So that's the reason people fail investing, because they don't do an analysis. They listen to hearsay tips. Okay, buy. So this is the surest way for you to fail your investment. So when you do investment, you must do thorough analysis. The second keyword here is safety of principle. So everybody type safety of principle in the chat box. Okay, yes, correct. Safety of principle, right? Okay, in other words, right, when we invest our hard-earned money, we must make sure that it is parked with an asset that can at least assure us that our principal is safe there. You know why your money is used for. Okay, sometimes people get into scams, right? They say, invest this money. Every month I give you 2% return. Every month I give you 5% return, right? They don't even know what kind of asset they invest in. They just know it's a scheme that can generate high return every month, right? They buy. So that kind of scheme will not assure you a safety of principal because you don't even know what you are investing in, right? There's no safety of principal to begin with, right? So if you park your money with, licensed investment products, okay, with a licensed stockbroking firm, for instance, then you know that your money is safe with them, lah. Okay, they won't run away with your money. Okay. Number 3, adequate returns, right? Everybody typed adequate return in the chat box, right? Adequate return is the third keyword because we are not doing charity. We are not doing philanthropic work. When we return and when we invest our hard-earned money, we must at least assure that we have an adequate return. Okay, we must have a reasonable yield. Okay, because if you want to do charity, then okay lah, you donate this money, you don't expect any return, right? So if you do investment, you must ensure that you have adequate return. So these are the definition of investment. All right. Now, understanding an investor is very important for you to know that there's no perfect portfolio for every investor because every investor is different. We are all unique. We have our own preference. We have our own style, right? So you must pick the strategy that works for you. Okay. There's no perfect portfolio. Some people are born to be investors. Some people are born to be a trader. Some people are very good at doing scalping. Some people are very good at doing intraday trading. Well, some people are very good in finding hidden gems and hold long term and let your wealth compound, right? So they are different. Everyone will have your unique. You must have your unique. Find a portfolio and strategy that works for you. Number 2, you must know your risk preference. Some of us here are risk takers, some of us here are risk averse. So you must know your risk preference. If you're a risk averse person, you go to high risk investment, right? Then at night you cannot sleep. Okay. Okay, for instance, when I was 21 years old, I was selling options in the US market. Okay, this strategy is called straddle and strangle, but it's a bit too complex to discuss today. So in other words, if I sell option in the US market, I could stay up all night, Okay, I could stay up all night to check the US market so that it don't go out of the band, and I could get exercise for all the option that I sell, right? So I cannot sleep, right? Because it's a bit high risk thing to do. So I cannot sleep, right? So if you are risk averse, you take on risk that is excessive for you, it can cause you mood swings, can give you emotional distress. So you definitely want to, if you want to live a comfortable life, then these are unnecessary things that you take on in life. So pick the asset class, pick the strategies that is right for you, pick the investment that can fit your risk preference. If you're a risk taker, you go for a very low return product, low risk, low return product, then you might find it very boring as well. So you must know yourself. Okay, know your investment time horizon. If you need the money in the next 3 months, then you don't put in real estate, you understand? Because it's very hard for you to take your money out. Okay, if you need this for 30 years, then you can consider some of the illiquid asset, right? You must know your time horizon, right? How quickly you must get the money back. If you need the money back in 6 months, right, you put in unit trust, then you also don't make a good decisions. Why? Because unit trust, the moment you put in, you gotta pay distribution charge, initial sales charge. There are a lot of charges that you need to pay, right? So if you want to do unit trust, you gotta be long term, right? So you must know your time horizon. Okay, number 4, you must know what is the amount of capital you have for investing, right? If your investment amount is low, then there are certain asset classes that doesn't suit you. Okay, so you must know what is the amount of capital for investment. But if your investment amount more, for instance, you're a student, you're starting out, right? I bought my first share when I was studying for 2 years in stock market before I bought my first share in year 2. Okay, I used Bursa Malaysia to buy. Why? Because Bursa Malaysia, can you hear me? I see there's a note coming out to say that my internet is a little bit unstable. If you can hear me, you type 1. Let me know if you can hear me or not.
Yep, Shane. It is going in and out, but so far it's okay.
Is it? Oh, okay. All right. So I just have this notice. Okay. Yeah. So I bought my first share when I was in year 2 in university. So that's through Bursa Malaysia. Okay, so you must know how much amount of capital you can buy, right? For Bursa Malaysia, so long that you have a few hundred ringgit to a few thousand ringgit, you can get started already. It doesn't require you to have hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands ringgit. You just need to have a couple of hundred, a couple of thousand, right? Even 50 ringgit or can buy a stock already. Okay, so that's Bursa Malaysia. All right. So Bursa Malaysia plays two roles. The first role they play is as a market operator and frontline regulator. In other words, Bursa Malaysia provides a facility and infrastructure called capital raising. They are the exchange. Bursa Malaysia, as the sole exchange in Malaysia, provide the facility and infrastructure for companies to go for listing and raise capital. Okay. And it can also provide exchange for retail investors like us to buy and sell shares in the stock market, right? Number two, they are the frontline regulator. They enforce rules and regulation on listed companies and intermediaries so that it can provide a fair, efficient, liquid, and transparent marketplace. All right. So these are Bursa Malaysia, right? The second role they play is they are a commercial entity, right? They are a well-managed company focused on creating shareholder value. So these are two roles that Bursa Malaysia play, right? So those companies that want to go for listed will, on Malaysia, right? They will have to choose Bursa Malaysia, okay? So that their Sendirian Berhad can become a public company, become a Berhad, right? I'm sure you have heard of Sendirian Berhad or private limited company. So when you buy shares, you're actually buying a piece of ownership in companies. But a share of Sendirian Berhad, right, is not easily accessible to you. Why? Because these are private company. For instance, I own 2 Sendirian Berhad, right? So if you want to become my shareholder, I will ask you why I want to sell my shares to you. I will want to understand what value would you bring to the table? Okay, what value would you bring to the table? And how can they add value to my company, right? So I won't easily sell my shares to you, right? Because the shares in the Sendirian Berhad is very limited. So it's very sacred, right? So it's not, so I wouldn't really sell it to you if you cannot bring value to my company. But for companies that become a public company, they choose to go listed on Bursa Malaysia. When you want to buy their shares, become their shareholder, you don't need the permission from the owners. Okay, you just go to Bursa Malaysia and you can buy already. Okay, you understand? If you think that you love Air Asia because you flew with them before, you love the airline, then you can go to the Bursa Malaysia and buy Capital A, right? And so you can become an owner of Air Asia, right? So when you walk on campus, right, or your school, you can say, I own Air Asia, right? That's correct, okay? Because so long that you have one share of the company, you're considered an owner, you're one of the owners of the company, right? So that's what it means by buying shares, right? These are share ownership. What does it mean to you? So why you buy and sell shares? You have passive income, right? Because let's say you buy Air Asia, and when Air Asia makes money, right, they give you dividends. So you sleep, also you make money from passive income, right? Number 2, you have capital gains, right? And the share price goes up, right? Because when a lot more people buy the share price go up. Let's say a lot of people like Air Asia, they buy Air Asia, the price of Air Asia goes up, right? Then you can have capital gain. Then you can sell for capital gain, right? Depends on your strategy. So these are the 2 reasons how you can make money from the stock market. One is through dividend yield. When the company makes profit, they declare dividend to you. That's the first way to make money in the stock market. The second way is where capital appreciation, when the share price goes up, right? So if you want to buy Air Asia share, right, you can't go to Air Asia and say, Tan Sri Tony Fernandez, I want to buy your share, right? Tan Sri Tony Fernandez will not entertain you. Okay. You can also go to Bursa Malaysia and say, I want to buy Capital A share, right? Bursa Malaysia will not entertain you. How you can buy share? You got to go through a middleman. And this middleman is called a stockbroker. And they're the friendly party of to help you to buy and sell shares. Okay, so they are called stockbroker or participating organization of Bursa Malaysia Securities. So stockbrokers, they are a licensed financial firm, right? So right now you cannot open a stock account yet, okay, because the minimum requirement is to reach 18 years old. So after SPM, then you can open after SPM, when you reach 18 years old, then you can consider to open a CDS account with them or stock trade. They help you to buy and sell share. Okay. If you want to buy share, you tell them they help you to buy. Okay. They provide online or offline trading platform, and most of nowadays everybody use online. Those days where you have to dial your reminder and say, hey, I want to buy share, right? Now gone are the days where you have to dial your reminders. Now everybody key in their order themselves. Number 4, they have adequacy of funding and proper corporate governance. Okay, because they are licensed financial firm. So Bursa Malaysia and Securities Commission ensure that all these stockbrokers they have adequate funding, and they have put in a stringent corporate governance to ensure that they operate they operate in a fair way, okay, and in a solvent way, okay, to ensure to protect your money. All right, so these are stockbrokers. On Bursa Malaysia, there are a lot of stockbrokers, whether they are local brokers or foreign brokers, right? So these are the list of brokers that I took from Bursa Marketplace. So if you already have, if your parents have an account and their logo not here, then you tell your parent they are not licensed, okay? So they're not licensed to facilitate buy and sell, right? So if the logo is here, then these are the only brokers that are licensed to help you to buy and sell shares on Bursa Malaysia. All right. So these are licensed brokers. Some of the logo you find familiar, right? You see, this tiger logo looks very familiar, isn't it? Okay. This logo look very familiar, isn't it? This logo, these are all the big investment bank that help you to buy and sell shares, right? So if you want to buy and sell share, you must find them, open a stock trading account and a CDS account. Okay. So let's talk about how stock trading works, right? So let's say this is yourself. Okay. You study the company. Okay. You read financial statements, you read newspaper, okay, you read the charts, right? And you want to buy the company share, right? So you want to buy company ABC at 90 cents. You want to buy 1,000 shares. Okay. So you put in 900 ringgit, right? To buy the share, right? 1,000 means you put in 900 ringgit. But then your broker will charge you a brokerage fee. So let's say minimum 12 ringgit, they charge you 12 ringgit. Okay. And then the exchange will charge you a clearing fee, right? 0.03% of the value, total value. So total value is 900. So it's 0.03% on 900 baht. So you have to pay 27 cents to the exchange. So you see, Bursa Malaysia only earn you 27 cents, right? Very cheap. So very cheap place for you to buy and sell asset, right? So if you buy and sell property, the agent already charge you 2 to 3% already, right? So it's very expensive. So for stock investing, it charges the lowest cost of transaction. And you'd have to pay 0.1% stamp duty or minimum 1 ringgit to the government. So these are a few transaction costs that you need to pay. So total up, you have to pay 913 ringgit 27 cents to acquire 900 ringgit worth of stocks. Okay. So when the company makes profit, they declare dividend to you. Okay. So it's also possible. But if you buy in the loss-making company, then they are not able to give you a dividend. All right. So now let's say the share price of ABC company gone up to 1 ringgit 90 cent, right? You bought 90 ringgit, no, you bought at 90 cent, it has gone up to 1 ringgit 90 cent, right? And you decide to sell them. You sell all 1,000 shares at 1 ringgit 90 cent, right? So how much money you earn, right? You bought at 90 cent, you sell at 1 ringgit 90 cent, so you take back 1,900 ringgit. Okay, so you pay brokerage fee 12 ringgit to your stockbroker. You pay 57 cents to the exchange as a clearing fee. You pay stamp duty 2 ringgit to the government as a stamp duty. So in total, you take back 1,885 ringgit and 43 cents. So that's how much money you could have received. So how much money you make? The net profit is the difference between how much money you pay, which is a buy settlement, and how much money you receive, which is a sell settlement, right? And you make 972 ringgit 16 cents. Okay, just from capital gain, we have not considered dividend income yet. All right, so that's how you make money. You buy into a good company. When the company share price appreciate in value, then you have net profit. Right? So understanding the term for stock investing, right? There are different terms, a bit more technical, bought lots, right? You can't buy one share on Bursa Malaysia. Now, in the past, you need to buy 1,000 shares. One bought lot was equivalent to 1,000 shares back then. Okay. But now, Bursa Malaysia make it very affordable to the retail investors, whereby one bought lot is shrunk to only 100 shares. Okay. So, for instance, if you buy the share price is 10 cents per share. Then you buy one lot, which is a minimum requirement. Buy one lot, which means how much money you need to pay? Right? Tell me. If you buy one bought lot, which is 100 units of a 10-cent share, right? How much it will cost you? Type in the chat box and let me know. Do your math, right? Yes, 10 ringgit. Correct or not? 10 ringgit. Okay. Okay. So this is 10 ringgit, right? So if you have 10 ringgit, you can buy share already. Okay. Some shares, right? You can buy at 10 cents and go to 2 ringgit, 3 ringgit, 4 ringgit, right? Okay. So you can make 30 times return. Dividend, okay, paid to shareholders from company's profit. Okay. So dividend means that when the company has profit, they declare the profit to you. Let's say my company makes 100 million profit. I declare 100 million to you as a dividend. Then you can get dividend. Contract notes means transaction statement. Every time when you buy and sell, there's a contract notes. Okay. So this is contract notes. Fourth is commission charges. There are commission charges that you need to pay. There's a brokerage fee, there's stamp duty, and there's a clearing fee, right? As a share of you, these are three things you need to pay. And there's a CDS statement, right? CDS statement means that the ownership and movement of the stock, right? So when you're in the past, right, when you buy and sell shares, you need to they will give you a share certificate, it's a share script, right? But what if there's a flood, right, happens at the home, then the share script will be flooded, okay, and it disappear, right? So now everything is kept electronically on your CDS account. So the CDS account is maintained with Bursa Malaysia. So when you buy and sell shares, the ownership will appear in the CDS statement. All right, so there's CDS account. So for stamp duty, clearing fee, and brokerage fee, right? The government charge stamp duty 0.1%. Minimum is 1 ringgit. Maximum is 1,000 ringgit. Round up to the nearest ringgit. That's the stamp duty. Okay, at most you only pay 1,000 ringgit. Clearing fee charged by Bursa Malaysia is 0.03%. Maximum you pay is 1,000 ringgit per trade. Brokerage fee 0.03% to 0.6%. That's the average range, right, of the transaction value. Okay, minimum they charge is 3 ringgit to about 28 ringgit. That's what I noticed from the industry, right? Brokerage fee is the only thing that is not constant. Why? Because it depends on which broker you choose, right? So it differs across different brokerage firms. So you pick the brokerage, the broker that you prefer. If you do everything yourself, you analyze stock yourself, then you pick you can go for a digital broker where they charge you very low rate, right? 3 ringgit, okay, for instance. If you need guidance from your dealer, from your remisers, then you can go for full service broker. Then they have branches nationwide. Okay, they have branches in maybe KK, in Kuching, okay, in Kuantan. They can go to the branch, okay, share trading center, and to perform your trading, and they can arrange remisers to help you also. So it depends on your need. Those that help you more, then they will charge you a higher fee. So brokerage fee differs across brokerage firm. So on Bursa Malaysia, there are different markets. There are 3 markets. Okay, the first market, which is a big market, is called main market. Main market is where a majority of Malaysian listed companies are listed. Okay, they usually reserve for larger and more established companies. So what are the companies? These companies are like Maybank, Public Bank, RHB Bank, CMB Bank, or Maxis, Celcom DG. Okay, these are Tenaga Nasional Berhad. Okay, these are main market stock. Okay, even Bursa Malaysia is also a listed company under Bursa Malaysia. Okay, so these are big company, established company. They're all in the main market. Okay, then we have the second market, which is ACE market. ACE markets are new companies or emerging company which may not have large capital like companies in the big market, but they could be a growth stock. They have strong product and service portfolio, which if they are given more capital, they can actually succeed and maybe transfer to main market. So these are, if you can imagine it as a much smaller company compared to main market stocks. Lead market is for the SME, right? Small and medium enterprises and companies to raise fund, right? So who are the players here? The potential SME companies, intermediaries, and for people to invest in lead market, they need to become a qualified, sophisticated investor onto a single platform. Okay, so in other words, right, you may not be able to buy into stock of lead market. Why? Because you are not considered a sophisticated investor yet. Okay, you need to have a net worth, I think, above 3 million, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, there are criteria by SC, or you have an annual income of 300,000 or plus your spouse 400,000, right? Then you can qualify yourself as a sophisticated investor. Then you can only buy lead market. Okay, for most people, we only invest in ACE market and main market, right? So these two markets. Okay, if you want to go for steady return, then you prioritize stocks in main market. But you want to go for high growth return, then you prioritize your investment into ACE market. So how do we pick great companies? Okay, to pick great companies, it's a $1 million question, right? You must focus on these few characteristics. Number one, consistent profit growth. Okay, we pick a company where they make money every single year. So my question to you is, would you want to invest in companies where they lose money every single year? Yes or no? If you know, you type no, let me know, right? If you want to invest in company that lose money every single year, right? Correct or not? No, right? Most of you say no, right? It makes logical sense, right? So the important for us, to pick good investment is to pick company with makes more and more money every single year, right? Not only the company are expected to be profitable, they must show consistent profit growth. For instance, first year they make 20 million profit. Second year, they make 40 million profit. Third year, they make 60 million profit. And last year, they make 100 million profit. So these are companies that show consistent profit growth. As another example, first year, they make 100 million profit. Second year, they make 80 million profit. Third year, they make 40 million profit. And last year, they make 20 million profit. Is this company profitable? The answer is yes, they are, right? Do they show consistent profit growth? The answer is no, right? They got consistent profit decline. So even though the company is profitable, but they have consistent profit decline, the share price will also come down. Why? Because every year they are making less money. Every year they're making less and less money. So one year they are bound to, be loss making. So when that happens, the investor will sell the share. So when a lot of investors sell the shares, right, the share price will come down. So the stock market works like an auction market. When there are more buyers, the share prices will well bid. When there are more sellers, the share prices will be suppressed, right? So you must pick a company which is sound, profitable, and growing their profit consistently every year. So this is my criteria. Number two, I like companies with little debt. That means I'm okay with the company got debt, right? They borrow money, it's fine with me. But I don't want them to have excessive debt financing. I want them to have conservative debt financing. Okay, because the bigger the debt they borrow, the bigger the risk. Okay, if economy recession hits, right, financial crisis happens, then they have a bigger trouble to service their loan. So that's what the bigger the debt they take, the bigger the risk. Number three, strong cash flow. I like company with strong cash flow. Okay, I like company that that receive cash from operations, right, every single year. Okay, because cash is king. Sometimes people got profit, don't have cash, right? They cannot pay salary. If you got no cash, you can't pay salary. You can't pay salary, who works for you? If you got no cash, you can't pay your supplier. You can't pay your supplier who supply raw materials to you. If you got no cash, you cannot pay your landlord, right? Then where you can find office, right? That's why cash is king, right? Very important. Number four, if you want to find company where they give you more and more dividend every single year, right? You must find a company where give you more and more dividend every single year. So this is how we can pick strong company. And five, capable board directors and management team, right? You want to find a good captain, right? You don't want to find a business whereby the captain is sleeping, right? Like for instance, you buy into Titanic, right? Titanic could be a good ship, right? But the captains are incapable. They hit the iceberg and sink, right? Even though the company is good, right? Even though the company or the ship is good, But if the ship has a lousy captains, the ship will also sink, right? So that's why it's important for us to find companies with strong management team, right? So these are 5 criteria of how do we pick great companies. Some involve you to have common sense and qualitative analysis. Some need you to look into the numbers. Do they have growth or not? All right. Now, there are a lot of references that you can refer to when it comes to investing. So this is to answer the question, where to get information, right? Bursa Malaysia, as a provider of fair, efficient exchange, right? They provide you a lot of market information. All listed companies which needs to make material announcement. All listed companies are required to make material announcement with Bursa Malaysia if that affect the business in a certain way, right? So, for instance, they have an order book that's above a certain percentage of their sales. They might need to do declaration or announcement on Bursa Malaysia. So, if you go to any company that have material development in the company will have to report it on Bursa Malaysia. So, you must go to Bursa Malaysia to check and read the announcement, right? For me, I read company announcement very often during February, May, August, and November. These are period I'm very busy crunching the quarter report, right? So go to Bursa Malaysia company announcement to get all the information about the listed company development, right? Not only will you learn about listed company development, okay, you can also learn about product and services, okay, what is the trading rules, and who are the listed company, right? It's very important. BursaMalaysia.com. And Bursa Malaysia also provide you a comprehensive one-stop e-learning platform that aims to provide you with a continuous and holistic learning journey. This is called Bursa Academy. You can scan the QR code or you can type www.bursaacademy.bursamarketplace.com. As the name suggests, it teaches you about investing, right? There are articles there I will share with you, right? There are quizzes there, there are infographics there, there are short courses there, there are articles that can teach you about product knowledge, about investing strategy, portfolio management, psychology management, right? Emotional management, market outlook. Okay, so you can understand the product, understand yourself, understand the market, and come up with a good strategy, right? Whatever you want to learn about investing, they're there on Bursa Malaysia, and there are also free events for you to join, right? And everybody type free in the chat box. Type free, FREE, free in the chat box, right? All of these resources are provided for you for free. No charge, right? So go to bursa academy.bursamarketplace.com to check these free resources, right? And some of the session you can also see me. I'm an instructor for some of the courses there on Bursa Academy. So there are also e-learning courses with certificate, upon completion, right? For instance, you need to trade, leverage, and inverse ETF. You can go there and take their e-learning courses. Okay. So you can also check out the information portal, which is called bursamarketplace.com, which have a lot of tools, but I will talk more about MyBursa in a short while, yeah? Okay, now, before we talk about MyBursa, so we want to talk about financial frauds and scam, right? So to sum up for investing inside this module, as of now, you can start learning about investing. The earlier you learn, the bigger hit start you have, and to refer to all the resources on Bursa Malaysia, they're all free of charge. It can help you to become an informed investor. Okay, just go there to read more materials. Okay, many of the quiz questionnaire are derived from the resources on Bursa Malaysia platform. Okay, all right, financial fraud. Right now, it is. Can you scan this headline and tell me what happened in this headline? You see, in Malaysia, not only Malaysia, globally, right? We are often faced with this kind of headline. For instance, I got calls almost every week. All these are scam calls, right? So all these headlines have one thing in common, which is to tell us how much have people lost their money through scam. Correct or not? Now, if you have lost money through scam, right, it will really stop you or set you back from achieving your wealth. Correct or not? Let's say you're halfway through achieving your financial goals, but you met a scam, then you are set back by 30%. You got to restart. And recently, I'm not sure if you caught the news, there's this national badminton shuttler, okay, who lost 400,000 to e-commerce scam, right? So this is really not good, huh? So if you don't learn about scam, chances are we may fall into them and could set us back financially, destroy us, destroy our financial health, and cause us a ruin in our life. That's why it's important for us not to fall into all this scam. Okay, so let's take a look at statistics. According to scamadvisor.com, in 2022, there are 55 billion US dollar loss globally through scam. This is only reported. Non-reported one, you don't know yet, So on average, every scam, there are a total of 293 million scams reported globally. Sorry, based on analysis scam data in 2022 from 48 countries, 48 countries globally. In short, right, on average, every scam will cost 188 US dollar. Okay, and 3.6% of the global population are scammed. Okay, out of 100 people, right, 3.6 people will get scammed in their lifetime, right? So that's a report by Scam Advisor. Nearly all countries report a high growth in online scam. You see Mexico growing at 19%, France 14%, Sweden 13%, Israel 5%, Belgium 4.4%. Even country like Singapore, right, online scam is 44% of the overall crime. Okay, UK online scam are 31% of their overall crime, right? So scam is a big part of crime. Okay, in Malaysia, between January and July 2022, right, 12,000 cases were reported with a loss of 400 million. Okay, so this is by our IGP, So 33,000 cybercrime suspects were detained, while 22,000 were brought into court to be charged between 2019 to July 2022. Right, so this is what happened. In Malaysia, we have also seen a rise in scam in local landscape. So, what is a financial fraud? Financial fraud is a financial transactions for purpose of personal gain, right? So it's a crime and it's also a civil law violation. It involves complicated financial transactions conducted by white-collar criminals. White-collar, these are people who are smart, who are well-educated, and they purposely scam you. Okay, so you're not dealing with stupid people. You're dealing with smart people. Okay, so it's a financial fraud, right? Now we tend to receive spam calls, right? From every week, right, I receive calls from unknown numbers. Okay, so there are surveys conducted here, and all these spam calls, which from unknown number, 24% are scam. Okay, that means out of 4 calls you take, right, one of them are scam, right? The other 3, some will ask you buy insurance lah, some will ask you do some survey lah, some do check with something, your customer service, your customer satisfaction. One of them will be a scam. Okay, so this is the survey conducted in Malaysia, right? 24%. So there are various types of scam that exist that you must know. Let me go through one by one. The first type of scam is identity theft, where someone steals your personal information and assume your identity to access your bank account, drain funds, and open credit card, and take loans. So every time when you give away your IC, it's very important for you to strike that, right, for what purpose. So don't really leak your IC to anybody, stranger. Credit card and debit card fraud, right? When you have credit card, it's important to protect it, right? Don't let people know your credit card number, because the moment they get your credit card number, credit card CVV number as well, they can use it to purchase things, right? They can use your credit card, because credit means it's a debt. I can use your name to buy things, right? So that means they spend things, but you pay. Okay, would you want that? No, correct not? No, we definitely don't want that, right? Third, debt collection fraud, right? Where scammers demand payment of bogus outstanding debt from you. Okay. Number 4, loan scam, right? They ask victims upfront payments to process loan, ask to provide debit and credit card as part of the application process. Okay, so yeah, so these are scams that could potentially come in when you need to take loan, right? So when you take loan, remember, don't fall into loan scam. Number 5, where we will talk at length is investment scams. Okay, typically involve huge sum of money and super normal profit within a short amount of time. I will talk more in later. Job scam and employment fraud, right? When you're looking for a job, right, they ask you to pay expensive fees for trainings, for overseas jobs to help you to write CV. These are all scams. Okay. Microsoft scam, right? Maybe you could have encountered that because you're online, right? When your PC are infected with malware and they can help you to solve the problem, and you trick you to install some software and provide information. Every time people ask you to install software, people ask you to install an app in your mobile phone, it is very dangerous. Okay, you must stay vigilant. Every time people ask you to install something, you must stay vigilant. Okay. Next is social media scam, right? Where they use your personal brand and your logo to trick people. Okay. Now, for instance, there are a lot of reputable providers, right? Let's say Bursa Malaysia. Okay, let's say I've seen Kenanga, I've seen some banks, right? There are some scammer who just go to Google their logo, right? Put in the social media, create a new page called Bursa Malaysia, right? And go out and scam people. Maybank, go out and scam people, right? So they take your official brand, create a fake profile, and go out and scam people and trick you to give them information, run ads, right? And from time to time, all these in financial institutions will come out and warn people, these are scam pages. Okay, don't believe, right? Every time you must be aware, if there's no blue tick by all these pages, it's very important. Okay, they are highly likely is scam. Okay, online shopping scam, right? Where they pretend to sell something to collect information, then they ask you to pay using alternative payment solutions, right? That means you pay for something, the goods were never delivered. All right. COVID-19 related scam now, I think not many already, because COVID-19 is over, right? They ask for fake face masks and stuff like that, right? So these are various types of scam that exist. Okay, personally, I have met several of this, and some calls me, ask me to do this, tell me about I have someone I need to pay I violated some law ask me go to police station all these things are all scam, right? And what affected me the most, every time kena me is this thing, social media scam, right? People take my photo from social media, create a fake profile to impersonate me and go about and scam people, right? They run this ad, you see, Shane, right? Sponsored ad, right? In Chinese. Okay. They put my face there and go and sell investment courses. Okay. So scam, right? They even run ads, This page has more followers, okay, than my own page, right? My own page, right? They have gotten a lot of people, okay, to like the page, okay, and sign up to join the stock investment group all these things fake Fake profile, right? They create fake profile and add my fans and followers, right? So these are social media scam, right? So this happened to me the most. I lodged a lot of police report already that I gotten, but none of these are caught because they could be operating from Cambodia Nigeria you don't know which country they operate from. You just don't know. Okay. Or they can operate next to your house, you also don't know, right? So next, so if somebody come to you, okay, ask you guaranteed crypto scheme, right? And that's definitely not me, not me, okay? So these are impersonators that use my face to go out and scam people, okay? I will not ask you to invest in any scheme, okay? Because I'm not licensed to do that, okay? So these are those that by the name of investment guru come approach you like this, they are scam, okay? So what are investment scam? These are the most common investment scam. We have Ponzi scheme and pyramid scheme. We have scam that involve unregulated products, overseas holiday properties, ask you to invest in land banking, do forex trading, cryptocurrency scams, and profit from rising in precious metals, precious commodities. So these are most common investment scam. So how do we spot one? 3 major types. Number 1, they are totally fictitious investment which doesn't even exist. Okay. Number 2, the investment exists, but the scammers take your money. Okay, they are non-licensed person to take the money. Okay. Number 3, the scammer pretend they are representing a legitimate organization in which they are not. So these are 3 major types, right? So what are the warning signs, telltale signs that you can spot, right? Number 1, they reach out to you out of the blue. Number 2, their claims are too good to be true. Number 3, they pressure you to make decisions very fast. Number 4, they don't let you to tell other people. You're asked to keep this investment quiet because only a handful of people with insider information know about this. Number 5, they'll call you, email you, or WhatsApp you very frequently. Number 6, you check with Bank Negara or SC, right? They are not registered entity and they're not licensed entity, right? So these are how you can spot an investment scam. Okay. So if you hear something like this, right, or you see them type something like this, right, I'll give you half of my commission if you sign up today. There's a bonus if you sign up. There are only 2 slots left, and the closing date is very soon. Other very savvy, experienced investors have already invested. Why wait some more? Believe me, I'm in this field for a long time. I have never failed. Okay, I make money all the time. Now I make a few thousand profit in just a few months or weeks, right? You can make a lot of money with little risk, right? The investment is guaranteed to double your money compared to your current investment. So these are the common catchphrases used by scammers. If you see one, you better run away already. Okay. So the get rich quick scheme, right? They offer high and unrealistic rate of return, right? For a small amount of money, the offer tend to be too good to be true. Okay. You must understand there's no instant wealth. So all get rich quick scheme, all get rich quick idea are scam. Okay. Usually involve high level of risk and premise of a gambling industry. Okay. So a lot of people who can fall for this, why? Because they are greedy. So when you chance upon this kind of schemes, you must verify and validate, right? So must go and do your due diligence. The next type of scheme is a pyramid scheme, right? This is how pyramid scheme work. Okay, pyramid scheme involve you to recruit people. So for instance, in this example, this is you recruit 6 person under you, then you make the 6 person to recruit 6 more person under them. Then every person recruits 6 person, right? And you have no legible products, you have no solid product and solutions or services to sell. The whole idea of pyramid scheme is based on recruitment. You recruit people, you get paid. You recruit people, you get paid, right? And the product is sometimes very lousy product, poor quality product that nobody will consume, right? So these are pyramid scheme, right? So if you see, if everybody recruits 6 person, if every person who are recruited into the pyramid scheme recruit 6 person under them, right? By the time it reach level 13, right? It is already 13 billion person already, which is more than the world population already. If in Malaysian context, right? In Malaysian context, when you reach level 6, it's already 46 million. Sorry, not level 6, level 10, right? It really more than Malaysian population. Malaysia only has 30 over million, right? So that's why this kind of scheme is not sustainable. It is bound to collapse. Okay. Ponzi scheme is the next scheme that I want to discuss. It is named after Charles Ponzi. It's a con artist in the US and Canada, known in the early 1920s. So this guy duped thousands of investors in 1919, promising high returns from discounted postal reply coupons due to fluctuation in postage prices. So back then, postage prices fluctuated a lot. So he offered this in return of high yield. Okay, so the modus operandi is that it's a recruitment base whereby a fraudster do not invest the money and then they use the money invested to pay, the one who invested earlier. So it's a pyramid scheme, So you pay me membership to join this scheme, right? After that, you used to pay the downline and stuff like that. Okay, so these are high returns with little or no risk, overly consistent return, unregistered investment, secretive, involve complex strategy, those that you cannot understand, right? Then you have difficulty to cash out. So the rule of investment is you must understand the investment. That's what Warren Buffett said, right? Invest within your circle of competence. If you can't invest within your circle of competence, you're taking too much risk. Okay, so don't invest. Okay, just now as I said, the definition of investment is must do thorough analysis, must at least assure you of safety on principle, and must give you adequate return, not high return. Adequate return, okay? So this one, super high return, is try to catch you into this kind of Ponzi scheme, right? There's also land banking scam that happened here before, okay, whereby plots of land are advertised as investment opportunities, whereby it is near the urban area or close to a zone that have been allotted for development, whereby the victims are told Once the permissions has been granted, you will make money immediately, right? But in reality, there's virtually no development potential. This area are barren land, no development potential, okay? So it's out of nowhere. It's at a godforsaken place, right? So yeah, I also seen before. Macau scam involved 2%, okay? How? The suspect, right? The suspect call you, right? I pretend to a bank or police officer. Then as they receive a call, right, they tell you, okay, we got this kind of crime already. I need to transfer you to another apartment. And please call back this number. So as they make you call back to this number, another police officer pick up the phone, right? Suspect, huh? They say, okay, their job is to make you panic, right? After you panic, right? They say, because you do this kind of crime, you need to pay this someone, right? You go transfer this money to this bank account number. The moment you transfer, gone case already, okay? So you see here, or for this kind of scam, right? It's important for you to have this awareness, because the moment you transfer money out of your banking system, it is really hard for you to retrieve them already. Very hard. Even the police, even the enforcement agency, enforcement officer are really active pursuing that suspect, right? You don't have a high hope they can retrieve your money. The moment it leaves your banking system, most of the time you're done for already. The money is lost. Okay. Love scams. I'm not sure how many of you here are deprived of love, right? But I've seen people who really fell into this love scam, right? I think you have read news about people who fell into this love scam. How they do it, right? They study your profile and digital footprints, whether on your Facebook or your Instagram or your TikTok, right? They understand what you like, what food you like, what sport activities you like, what's your hobby, what movies you like. They study you. And then they know what kind of person you are. They try to adopt an online personas to fit your personality, so they can gain your trust, okay, so they can put money with them, okay. They first study you, then they portray as a person that you may like to draw you into their love scam, right? So the lies romance that the scammers will usually tell you is, I work in an oil rig, I work in the military, I'm a doctor with an international organization where I always go for a field trip, right? Field visit. So the telltale sign is that they always profess their love quickly. They claim to be overseas for business, right? They plan to visit but can't because of emergencies, right? They feel illness. Oh, I'm sick. I need some money to pay for my medical bill, right? So these are telltale signs, right? They ask the victim to help to pay for the plane tickets. They pay for the surgery, pay for the custom fees to retrieve something, pay off my own gambling debt, right? Pay for visa, pay for official travel documents to come to see you, right? They'll ask you to wire money, to online transfer, or reload cards from vendors such as Amazon, Google Play, and such like that. So these are how love scam operate, right? You don't even see them in person. They just adopt a persona that can help you to fall into love, right? Or sometimes they show you a fake profile photo, right? So this is what love scam is all about. So what you can do, right? No, it's very heartbroken to find out that your crush is a love scam, right? So the moment it happened, right, you must stop communicating with the person immediately, right? And you can discuss with your BFF, right? Someone you can trust, right? You can do a Google search to see if anybody have been heard this story before. I heard this story before, okay? And do a reverse image search of a person profile on the Google, right? Reverse image search to see whether it's scam or not. Do not transfer the money to people whom you just met or knew online, right? It's very dangerous. Even though they got accident lah, they got a critical illness lah, they got emergency that needs the money lah. Okay. Do not accede to a request that may put you in a vulnerable position, right? Inform the police if anyone is trying to extort money from you. So these are what you can do to save yourself from love scam, right? So which are the channels where you can complain, right? Number one, you can do complaint with MCMC if that involve multimedia, like fake profile, stuff like that, report to MCMC. Number two, if that involve payment in e-commerce, okay, or you buy goods, never pay you, right? Then you can complain to KPDN, Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs, or this Pusat Perkhidmatan Aduan Pengguna National, which is National Consumer Complaint Center, okay? So there are complaints hotline that you can contact. For banking related, right, you can contact Bank Negara, or if investment related, may alert it to Securities Commission. Okay. So these are a few complaint channels that can channel in. Okay. And you must know these are the 4 basic behaviors that scammers target. Number 1, they target people who are fearful, right? So they appeal to your fear, right? So they pretend to be a law enforcement officer from authoritative agencies and tell you that you committed some offense. Okay, then you got scared already, you transfer money, right? To settle the summon, right? So that is a telltale sign of scam. Number 2, they appeal to people who are ignorant. Okay, you don't read, you don't study, and these are people who fall into investment scams, who scam involving banking related matters or online shopping scam, right? Ignorance. But the fact that you are here today means that you are not ignorant, you are enlightened, and you want to acquire knowledge, right? So that's good. Number 3, gullibility. These are people who are easily persuaded. They will fall into love scam, Nigerian scam, snake oil scam, travel package scam, right? Number 4, the appeal to your greed, right? These are investments that promise super normal profits within a short period of time. Get rich quick scheme, lottery scam, and pyramid scam, right? So if you are somebody who are often fearful, ignorant, you are gullible, and you are always greedy, then you are an easy target for them. So make sure you can get these emotions or behavior in check. Right. Now, for me, I installed this Truecaller and I want to advise you to do the same, right? Just go to Google Play or App Store to install this Truecaller. Every time when an unknown number call you, there's a message to tell you, is this from scam or not? If there's a from scam, right, they will come up with a note called spam call. Then you don't answer lah. So that's what I practice. All right. So with that, I have come to the last part of this segment, which is MyBursa. Now, MyBursa is the latest tool and function that Bursa Malaysia rolled out for you. Okay, so this is the all new MyBursa portal. You can go to bursamalaysia.com. If you go to bursamalaysia.com, you look at the top right corner. There's MyBursa. You just click on it. Or you can go to my.bursamalaysia.com to directly visit MyBursa portal, right? It's a new and personalized platform by Bursa Malaysia. So this is the centralized platform for investors to acquire market data, information, tools, and solutions all in one hub. Okay, so you can visit and sign up for MyBursa account today. Right. So how do you so what features you have there? There are investment tools, right? There are screener that can help you to screen for stocks. Okay, you put in your criteria, can help you to screen for stock. There are heat maps that can help you to find, what are the market moving sectors, what are market moving stocks. They are plotted in red to a green color, and you can check how big is the market cap by the size of square that they occupy, right? So there are also other tools you can check out on MyBursa. So second, you can acquire data and insight. With up-to-date data, you can gain access to valuable market analysis, trends, and research to help you stay ahead, right? So this is data and insights. And third is Bursa Academy will be consolidated under MyBursa in due course. So all the content on Bursa Academy will be available on MyBursa, right? So if you go to MyBursa, you can access not only tools to help you to become a savvy investor, but also content that can make you an enlightened investor. All right. So it's a personalized and tailor-made for you. You may sign up today. Go to my.bursamalaysia.com or scan the QR code here to go to MyBursa to sign up an account, right? So I'm now come to the Q&A session. If you have any questions for me, write your question in the Q&A. Okay, Q&A, yeah? Don't write in the chat box because there are so many messages in the chat box that I could overlook, right? Type your question in the Q&A box, okay? I will stay on this page so you can scan the QR code, okay? I'm doing screen sharing, but I can't see the Q&A panel. Roshan, can you read the Q&A question and answer for me if that's relevant to my content? I can't see the panel.
There are a few questions. I think we'll do a few. There is one question: what is surplus, and what does effective interest rate mean? This was earlier, much earlier.
Okay, now surplus means whatever income you have minus your expenditure, the balance would be called surplus if it's a positive number. But the balance is negative, then it is a deficit, right? Let's say you make 1,000 ringgit in your income, but you spend 1,100 ringgit. Then will you have a surplus? No, you have deficit 100 ringgit. But if you earn 1,000 ringgit, you spend 800 ringgit, will you have a surplus? Yes, your surplus is 200 ringgit. So that's a surplus. Now, effective interest rate, I have covered that at length just now. Briefly, it is the interest rate to tell you how much actually you're paying for that loan, right? Because sometimes the loan could be masked under a flat interest rate where they take flat interest rate is charged on the initial capital. So you must use effective interest rate to know what is the real interest rate you're paying. So that's effective interest rate. Okay. To learn more about this effective interest rate, right? You can revisit the replay link that's sent to you by JA. JA will send you the replay link for this session, so you can rewatch the module that I've just talked about.
Okay. So we have a few more questions. Maybe we'll do one more. Why does most public listed companies in the stock market between August 2020, was it at its peak, then later dropped? So a lot of public listed companies during August 2020. Is there a reason why?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
The question is, why most of the public listed companies stock market between August 2020, was it at its peak?
Oh, all right. You mean, okay, I
Listed,
understand. August 2020. You mean why the share price of this stock market during August 2020 goes up, right?
Yeah.
No, because there was during 2020 in March 2020, pandemic happened. Sorry, not pandemic happened way before in January, but then the market tanked during March because of lockdown, right? Lockdown happened in March 18, right? If I'm not mistaken, March 18, 2020, where lockdown happened. So the market also reached a depth, reached the lowest point in that point, the swing low. Then immediately, a lot of people see there's a demand for pharmaceutical stocks, the demand for technology stocks, the demand for healthcare stocks, glove stocks. So they rush in to buy. So a lot of people who are homebound have no avenue to go out to work because they are either on a partial rotation basis or rooster basis, or they have to work from home, or they completely lose access to their livelihood, right? Because the businesses are ordered to shut down because they cannot open during the lockdown period. So what happened is that they go to the stock market and try to make money. Right? Imagine you're a vendor on the street, right? But you're not allowed to open. So how do you support your lifestyle? So you go to the stock market to make money. So during that period of time, there are a lot of participation from the retail investor. So a lot of people sign up a stock trading account. So the market become very hot. So during that period, the share price appreciate quite a lot. Okay.
Okay. So Shane, we actually have a few questions, but what I think we can do, we are at 12:15 now. So what I will do is maybe I will share the scope of the quiz. And then if anybody has any more questions, please stay back. I think Shane, you can also still remain on the call if they have any more questions, then we can answer that after I share the quiz details. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay. All right, I will stay on for the Q&A in a short while. All right.
Okay. All right. So students, thank you very much. We will answer your question. So just stay back for a while more. Let me share with you what the quiz is all about. So I hope you have had some good knowledge from what Shane has shared. All right. And now I just want to share with you a few things. All right. Before you leave this Zoom and also the YouTube, I believe you have learned a lot of information from Shane. Now, don't worry for y'all who are asking about the slides and so on. Don't worry, we will share the slides with you. The whole slide deck, we'll share it with you. We will even send it via email. We will also send this recording to you as well. So first thing, check your email for the slide deck and also the recording. We will also share it in the Telegram group. Okay, so my colleague will share a Telegram link very, very shortly, and you can actually join the Telegram group. Now, for those of you who have not renamed yourself, please rename yourself. If you don't know how to rename yourself, just put it in the chat box so that we know that you have attended this webinar. Okay, rename yourself, put your school name, put your and followed by your full name. Okay, very important, all right? Just put it in the chat box. If you don't know how to do it yourself, we will do it for you. Okay. Now, the scope of the Bursa Investment Challenge, right? So, and many of you are asking about the quiz. The quiz only starts on 13th of July, which is next week on Saturday at the same time, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. as well. Okay. Now, let me show you what the scope of the quiz. So, the first round is the preliminary round, right? You can see that we're going to test you on the financial literacy, and your suggested reading materials is sensibility. So what is sensibility? We will share with you some links. Okay, you can go to that links and you can actually read up all the information there on personal finance, and read up as much as you can because we will test you on everything. Okay, and then you'll have 20 multiple choice questions, and each question you'll have 20 seconds. So how we will do the quiz? We will do it on Kahoot. Some of you all know what Kahoot is. You can actually use Kahoot on your web browser if you're using a laptop, or you can even download the mobile app, right? You can, if you're using a handphone, just go on your app store and download Kahoot, the app. And then during the quiz, we will actually share a code with you. You use that code and you can actually join. So semifinals, we will test you on the stock market and investment literacy. We will also send reading materials to you, but only the top 300 students will get to move forward to the semifinals. And that's on 20th July. And the grand finale is on the 27th of July, also a Saturday. We will make it a little bit harder. We will test you on the equities market and investment literacy. And this one also, we will give you all the reading materials that you need. Okay, and only 150 people will be selected for the grand finale. So every round we will actually select the top highest winners. Okay, so from the preliminary round we will select the top 300 people, go to the semi-final. From the semi-final we will select the top 150 finalists to go to the grand finale. This is the process of the quiz. So these are the reading materials. We will share this with you, so don't worry. We can actually, you can actually go back, you can actually read it. You'll have 1 week from today to actually read all this information. Okay, so as I told you, we will use Kahoot. This is just a sample only. This is not the real game pin. Okay, so you can go to the web browser or you can download the app. All right, it's very user friendly. And when you go into the Kahoot, they will ask you for the game pin first. Okay, that one we will provide during the session. Once you put in the game pin, they will ask you, put in your email address. So this email address is very, very important. Put in the email address that you had used during registration. Okay, and it must be a valid email address that you used during a registration. Okay, you put in your email address, make sure it is not wrong. And then they will also ask you about your name. Okay, so here they ask you nickname, but we want you to put your real name. Now I know your full name. Now, some of you all have very long names, and that's fine, right? You just put in a name. You can put in a short name as well, but best to put in your full name if you can fit it all in. Okay, if you can't fit all in, just put in your short name. That's also fine. We will try to identify you with your email address. So email address is very, very important. All right. Okay. And then this is how it will appear. Okay, when we start the quiz, we will make sure everyone is ready, and then the questions will come out one by one, and you will have about 20 seconds to actually answer the questions. Okay, so if you get it right, this is what you will see. If you get it wrong, you will know that you got the question wrong. Okay, for those of you who use Kahoot, you will know what this means. Now, how to advance to the semifinals? There will be a 20 questions we will ask during the preliminary round. Okay, some are multiple choice, some are true or false. Okay, so you need to be ready. You need to make sure you know your answers. You need to make sure you read all the materials, right? You must try to answer as many questions correctly as possible. That's how we will select. Okay, you will have up to 20 seconds, which I mentioned earlier. No bonus marks will be given for speedy responses during the preliminary round. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether you answer fast or you answer slow, doesn't matter. Okay, the top 3 contestants will be selected to the semi-finals. All right, last but not least. Okay, so contestants participating in the Bursa Investment Challenge other than the registered email address will be disqualified. So only if you are registered for this competition, you will be a valid participant. Okay, you cannot take part for other people. All right, you must register with your email address. Make sure your email address is all correct. You must try to have a good internet connection as well because you're using Kahoot. Okay, so for those of you who are joining on YouTube as well, so during the preliminary round, we will have this Zoom session going on exactly like today. Okay, but after 1,000 people join, nobody can come in anymore because that's the maximum capacity. So you will have to join on YouTube. Okay, so when you join on YouTube, make sure you are following the Kahoot properly. Okay, and make sure you have good internet connectivity. So don't duplicate your name. I mean, you can't. No duplicate username entry is allowed. You can only use one device, so we will check this as well. So don't use few devices to answer questions. You cannot participate for other people as well. Don't participate for your friend. You can represent only yourself in this quiz. Okay, so of course we reserve the right, the sole discretion to disqualify anyone if we suspect that you are committing any fraud, any cheating and whatnot. This is a learning experience, so we hope that you take this opportunity to learn about Bursa, to learn about investing, all right, and learning through a fun way, which is the quiz. Okay, organizer's decision is final. All right. Okay, before that, before we go to the Q&A, just want to show you a few things. Okay, so make sure you add this number as well. Add this number on your telephone. Just save it. Any questions you have, you can call, you can WhatsApp this number. You can also join the Telegram group, which I think is already shared in the chat box. Okay, we will share it again. That's also another channel we'll be using. An email will be sent to you today. So the whole recording and the slides and all the reading materials, everything you need to have to prepare yourself for next week's preliminary round will be sent by today or latest by tomorrow. Okay, so just give us maximum about 24 hours to send you all this info. Okay, so by tomorrow afternoon, you should be already receiving your emails already. Okay, and of course, if you didn't receive it, you can always reach out to us, give us your name, your email address, and then we will send you the info. Okay, you must join the preliminary round in order to get your certificate. Okay, so this is just a webinar, just to give you introduction on all the info that Shane shared and to tell you what the quiz is about. Okay, but the real competition is next week on the 13th of July, next Saturday, 10 a.m. You must join in early, come like today. All right, and you must take part in that quiz in order for you to get your national certificate. All right, that is the actual competition. Okay, so just remember, remind yourself, block your calendars, put it down in your calendars now. Don't do anything next week from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Okay, we will also send you the Zoom link. Right, it's actually the same link as today. Right, you can click the link and join in early as possible on 13th of July. Okay, so that is pretty much what I want you to know, what I want you to know about the competition. If you have any other questions, you can always reach out to us. You know how to reach out to us. I shared with you the phone number earlier. You have all our details. You can email us, you can WhatsApp, you can call at any time. All right. Is there any pending questions that we would like to ask regarding this competition? Okay, so this is a school competition. During the preliminary round, you won't be needed to turn on your camera. Okay, because there's 1,000 over students joining, so no need to turn on your camera. Okay, you will get your PAJSK marks as well for schools who are taking part. This is after the ministry actually sort of approves the program, and once we actually send in the report to the Ministry of Education. Okay, so don't worry. If you have any questions regarding that, you can always reach out to us. Okay, I don't see any more burning questions on the competition. Okay, I've already answered most of your questions earlier. Okay, so I believe Shane is still on the call. Shane, there's a few questions on specifically on the technicalities of what you shared. There's a question on LHDN allocation. There is
Yep, I can see the Q&A now because I have stopped sharing my screen.
yeah. Go
I have
ahead.
also reply some of the questions via text messages. So if I reply a question, that I won't do it anymore. Okay. So I will just take on question related to the content that I see on the Q&A panel at the moment. So the first question I see is, why are companies like Prasarana Malaysia Berhad categorized as Berhad even though their stocks is not available to the public? Now, if the company is Berhad, it means that it is not a private company, it's a public company, but they may not be listed on the exchange because these are the companies where they have more than, I think, 50 shareholders, if I'm not mistaken. So if your company attract more than 50 shareholders, then you cannot be Sendirian Berhad already, you got to be Berhad, right? So so it doesn't mean that all Berhad company are listed, but those listed company will be Berhad. All right. Hope I answered that question. So what's the difference between personal loan and other loans? Now, personal loans are usually meant for you to go through a period of difficulty involving emergencies situation. So other loans are meant for specific reason. It could be meant for a vehicle where you buy your cars, or it can be meant for housing. So when you buy your house, so there's a housing loan, or credit card is for you to buy for your consumer products, right? So personal loan usually is for your emergencies. Okay, you're not advised to use personal loans to invest. Okay, hope I answered that question. So next question is, do you have any advice for allocation on taxes, where LHDN nowadays charges extremely high taxes? How much do you think you should allocate for this? I can't believe a student asked me tax question. Okay, is it come from a teacher advisor? All right. So now you can't allocate taxes because it is not something you can it's not something that you can manage the balance. Okay, what I mean is that tax are charged the moment you have income. All right, that means if you earn 100,000 a year, you meet that kind of threshold, you got to pay that amount of tax, right? So the tax is imposed when you earn. You only allocate things for things you want to spend, right? So I can't tell you just spend 5% on tax. I can't, right? Because the tax bracket is that much, then you gotta pay that amount of tax, right? So it's unlike consumption tax. Consumption tax like SST, you pay when you spend. So if you don't want to pay more, you spend less. But income tax is you are required to pay by law the moment you earns. Okay, so that's I can't talk about how much allocation, but the better planning is for you to really maximize your tax relief as much as possible. Okay, so to address this question better, I think if you consult a licensed tax agent, they will give you a better answer. Okay. What is your thought about cryptocurrency? Now, cryptocurrencies are a very volatile asset class. In the recent years, they have appreciated a lot. But of course, due to the volatility, it is not suitable for students to get in first, even though they are licensed by SC. There are a few licensed exchange here, such as Luno. For instance, I personally use Luno to trade cryptocurrency. But they are very volatile, so they move very fast. In other words, right, some stocks, they probably 1 year appreciate or depreciate 10%. Okay, but cryptocurrency, 10% gain or loss in a year, right? In stock, right? In cryptocurrency is 1 day. 1 day you can reach 10% gain or 20% gain, or you can lose 10% or 20% in an intraday basis. So given the high volatility nature of cryptocurrency, I don't think students are suitable to trade that yet. So that's my thought. Can I do investment at 17 years old? The answer here is you're not legal to open a stock trading account, but because as an instructor, because I run my own program, young money master program, I've seen young students from high school and international school whom the parents have taught them about investing as a young age, but they were using their parent account, right? The parent opened a trading account with them, but they use the parent name. So, but they have a control to manage the account. I've seen that before. So the answer here is you cannot open a CDS account at your own, but these are some other ways that other parents are doing for their kids to learn about investing. Okay. Is the upcoming quiz covering only this webinar, or should I research some other information? The answer is the materials from this webinar will be covered, will be presented in the quiz contest, but you need to study more than that. Okay, you need to study more than that to be able to emerge as a winner. Okay, to refer to the learning materials, you can go to Bursa Academy or refer to the list that JA provided to you where to read about investment. Is there any platform I can use for trading how to do shares, for example, buy and sell? Fantastic question, right? You can visit Bursa Equity Trading Simulator. You go to Bursa Academy. Bursa Academy provides you a virtual trading platform for you to trade shares virtually at no risk. In other words, you'll be given a virtual account, consists of 100,000 capital, virtual money. So you can use this 100,000 capital to buy and sell shares, which are real time price feed. In other words, if the share price move in the real market, the share price will move in this virtual market in the exact same time, right? So this is a virtual real-time environment for you to practice buy and sell shares without risking your hard-earned money. Okay, go to Bursa Academy and sign up for this equities trading simulator. How do I get work experience early so that I can improve my financial in the future? Yeah, so you can learn from me. I work multiple part-time jobs during the school break. Morning, I become a tutor. Afternoon or evening, I go to a cafe to become a waiter, right? So you can learn from me, right? Work multiple jobs, gain experience, okay? How can I start a finance and holding company? So to answer this question, right, you get to assemble people who have the same vision like you, who share your vision, and then you think about what kind of product solutions you want to offer, and then you try to set up, and then you get a license from Bank Negara or Securities Commission, depending whether it's investment banking or banking, right, or finance, right, or insurance, right. You must get relative authority license to start a finance company. When can we start to apply for account in Bursa Malaysia? 18 years old. When you reach 18 years old, you can have a direct CDS account under your name. Do you think we can invest now? If we can invest now, how? So that's a question by Aisha. You can start buying shares so long that you have 50 ringgit to 100 ringgit, like what I share with you, right? If you buy a share that's worth 10 cents, you buy one lot, it will cost you 10 ringgit, right? Plus all the brokerage fee, stamp duty, and stuff like that, it will go up to maybe 20 over ringgit. But of course, if you invest 10 ringgit, right, you can't make 1,000 ringgit lah, because investment is a capital game. If your capital is small, the incentive may not be good enough to motivate you going further. I think the ideal size to start investing is a few thousand ringgit. Okay. But if you have a few hundred ringgit or 50 ringgit, can you start? Yes. Go and acquire experience first. Okay. So what kind of stock can you would I recommend you to buy when you first started is you can consider blue chip stocks. Blue chip stocks are big cap company, large cap company that have a long operation track record. They're in the market for a while, so they're safe. These are companies like Maybank, CMB. These are large cap stocks that you can think about. Okay, like Tenaga. These are large cap stock which provide a more steady return. Okay, or can consider dividend stocks. Okay, stocks that pay a lot of dividend, right? Like Bursa Malaysia pays a lot of dividend, right? Or steady stock, right? REIT, right? Real estate investment trust provide a lot of dividend, right? Sunway REIT, Pavilion REIT, KLCC, Staple Securities. So these are all dividend stocks. So even though the share price goes down, they give you dividend, you can still make money from the dividend, right? So start with stocks that are stable first, okay? Low beta stocks, stable stocks for you to gain confidence when you begin, right? But the names I mentioned just now are not a recommendation for you to buy, just an example. Do real banks do transactions on a phone call? Typically, no. Typically, no. But from time to time, I receive banks from my call from bank ask me to top up for my insurance sell me a Takafu solution So there are this kind of sales call from the bank who may call you, or calls from bank will help you to confirm your transaction. For instance, they will call you and say, have you made this purchase on your credit card? Okay. Did you really issue this check? Okay. This signature, is this done by you? Okay. If you issue a check, right? So banks may call you for verification and validation. Okay, but banks sometimes will call you to upsell their solutions. Okay, but the most important thing when it comes to banking solutions is never share your OTP, your 6-digit TAC or OTP with anybody. This OTP should be kept with yourself. If there's any bank who call you and say, "Can you let me know what's your OTP?" These are scams. All right. Is it recommended to choose flat interest rate for home or credit card loan? The answer is home housing loan and credit card loan only offer you reducing balance interest rate. They never offer you flat interest rate. Okay, so you cannot choose. You only choose which rate is lower. You can't choose whether the nature of the rate, right? It only reducing balance. How can I invest if I have very little capital? Yeah, you can start with stocks that is 10 cent, 20 cent, or 50 cent, or less than 1 ringgit. Then you can have incur very little capital. For instance, this company in Penang, Inari Amatron Berhad, right? 2013 is less than 10 cent. Today is almost 4 ringgit, right? If you buy in 2013, 10 years later, it become 3 over ringgit, right? You 3,000 times return, okay? You bought it less than 10 cent. Now it is 3 over ringgit, right? So it's possible for you to find a stock which is high growth and help you to deliver multi-bagger return to you. Okay. Is it the right decision to follow the sales of the stock shares by major shareholder? For example, Elon Musk sell 1 million shares. Should we follow him? From my experience, right? If the management buy the shares, it means that they are very confident about the company. So for me, right, if the management buy the share, I will really carefully study. Does this company still have potential or not? Okay, why they buy the share? Okay, I will really study. But if the company management sell the shares, if one person sell the shares, they could sell the share for many reasons. Okay, maybe because they just want to finance a new purchase of their home. They want to finance a big car, so they take a little bit of profit. I may not take sell decisions so seriously. I take the buy decisions more seriously. Okay, but if the entire management sell the shares, then it means something. Okay, that means the CEO sells, CTO sells, COO sells, CMO sells, CSO sells, everybody sells, right? The top management sells the shares. I will run away already. Okay, I will follow. So that's from my investing experience. Okay, because selling, right? Because it involve our personal thing, right? Sometimes we need money for emergency, stuff like that, to meet our wants. Sometimes we sell a bit of our shares, right? Who knows? Maybe the company owner owns, 40% of the share. They just let go of 0.1%, right? To finance their wants. So it's all right. So that is from my experience. Does cryptocurrency involve with investing? The answer is most likely people who trade cryptocurrency do it for trading. They don't invest. But in the early stage, there are a lot of investors who invest in cryptocurrency and deliver 1,000,000% return. Okay, so there are a small group of people who do investment with cryptocurrency. If you believe in the functions and the use of the tokens or the coins that you invest, okay, then you can hold long term. Other than that, I don't recommend you to hold long term. Wow, I've answered so many questions, but still so many questions left, right?
Yeah.
I think
Actually, you can look through the questions and see some of it that you want to answer.
if
Maybe the critical ones.
I just answer a good question, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. If your question is not picked, right? Then I think these are repeated, huh? I've done that question before, or I've covered that in my slide already. Let me read the question. Can I recommend any bank? The answer is all banks are by and large similar, huh? So I can't recommend any bank. Okay. Which books do you recommend to read about financial as a student? When I was young, I read books by Adam Khoo and Robert Kiyosaki. So the first few personal finance book I read, but so you can read about this kind of books, personal finance first. After you understand personal finance, then you can read investment. Investment, you can read books by Benjamin Graham. If you want to do investing, Peter Lynch, the books that I love about investing. For trading, you can read books by Michael Covey, Van Tapp to talk about risk management, position sizing. So these are a bit more advanced books for you. If no one wants to buy the shares you're selling, what to do? You sell cheaper, huh? Okay, then there will bound people who want to buy. Why is there only qualified sophisticated investor in lead market? Because lead market is very small and very entails higher risk. So only people who are qualified and sophisticated can invest. Okay, this is a measure that Securities Commission put in to protect retail investors from losing money because they are high risk instruments. Do you have any app suggestion that can do investment? Only the one that can help you to do investment, only the apps offered by stockbroker can help you to do investment. The rest of the apps are just for screener to use the tools, right? What is more important is to download Bursa Marketplace app by Bursa Malaysia, okay? Or you can download Bursa Anywhere app by Bursa Malaysia. It can help you to keep track of CDS account, okay? But Bursa Marketplace will offer you the tools, Bursa Marketplace app. Go to Google Play or App Store. Okay, I think some of the questions I've addressed before already. If the company we invest goes bankrupt, are we going to get back our money or we're going to lose it? Short answer is you're going to lose it. Okay. It depends on the winding up process. Okay. Are you in the preference to receive the proceeds of the sales of the asset or you're ranked the lowest? If you're equity owner, you usually rank the lowest. Okay. Typically, you won't receive anything back. I cannot sign up the MyBursa even though the name and password was right. Well, this question, I'm not sure is Amiru is here. There's this question. I don't know if I can answer that. Okay, I will leave it to Bursa rep to answer. I cannot sign up MyBursa even though the name and password was right. Okay, maybe he replied via text. How much is considered enough for retirement? It depends on lifestyle. If you live an expensive lifestyle, then I think you probably need a few millions. If you live a simple lifestyle, I would say you're now about 15 years old. So 50 years from now, you probably also need, I think to be safe, you need at least $1 million. To be safe, to be really safe, you need at least $1 million. Okay, considering inflation, right? Okay, I've seen a lot of repeated questions. How to make thorough analysis of a company? I just shared with you, right? You study the management, study the business, whether they have consistent growth or not, whether they have conservative debt financing, whether they have good dividends income, whether they have a strong management. So these are how you can conduct a more thorough analysis. Okay, but of course, to complete a thorough analysis of the company, you may need to attend a 2-day course. Okay, so in this short time, I cannot tell you all these details. What is a reliable stock app? The apps offered by your stockbrokers are reliable. The apps offered by Bursa Malaysia, the reliables. Of course, some of the apps like KLSC Screener, are quite reliable. Huh? So can Bitcoin be trusted? Well, I am not a cryptocurrency expert, but in the cryptocurrency world, Bitcoin is the most important coin that it's like a digital gold. Huh? Bitcoin is like a digital gold, right? I think it's a high level of trust. Is Momo legitimate? Yes, Momo is a licensed participating organization of Bursa Malaysia Securities. Okay. Is it possible to make money at 16 years old? The answer is yes. Okay. It is possible. How many shares are there in a company? Some companies issue a few 100 million shares. Some companies issue billions units of shares, right? So it depends on what kind of company. A company that are very large, big market cap will have a lot of floating shares. How to identify a trustworthy investment opportunity? If the investment opportunity are run by people who are licensed, then they are trustworthy. If they offer you too good to be true kind of return, then these are telltale sign of scam. Huh? May I know what is a bond? Bond is a debt security. Okay, equity is a ownership of a companies, right? That bond is a debt securities. That means when you invest in bond, you're actually lending money to the issuer. Okay, you're lending money. When you invest in stocks, you're buying ownership in the companies, right? So these are differences. What source of material would you recommend to learn about investing? Go to Bursa Academy. Okay. All right. I guess I have covered most questions that are important and some questions are repeated. So I'll just skip that. Huh? Some questions are not covered under this module. So I'll just skip that. Right. So with that, I think I have done my job today. I believe that you should have gained a lot of knowledge in personal finance. We are talking about personal finance in depth, right? To talk about, how do you, what are personal finance, how to do budgeting, how to plan your debt, right? We also talk about the differences in different loans and the interest rate. We also talk about investing insights, how to get started investing, how to pick investment grade stocks, what are the references you can go to. Remember to sign up for MyBursa. Then we'll talk about how do we avoid scams, right? So these are modules today. I believe my job today is done. Yours have just begun, right? So wish you all the best in Bursa Investment Challenge. Godspeed, right? Stay connected. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you very much, Shane. Thank you very much, students, for actually joining the session. I hope you learned. I believe you all have many, many more questions. You can look Shane up. I think you can send him messages as well if you want. But you can find some information online as well. Go through the slides. You can go to Bursa's website and get plenty of information about their questions as well. Okay, so thank you very much. Hope you join the first round of the preliminary quiz, which is next Saturday, 13th of July, 10 a.m. All right, thank you very much, everyone. And if you have any questions, you know how to reach us, and we will see you next week. 13 July at 10 a.m. All right, thank you. Bye.